Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray with you tonight until 11 o'clock. Full show. Full show. It's actually the final show that I will be here on the night show for at least 7 shows, Skaz. I'm sorry about that, but I do have to go on vacation. And then tomorrow we'll be on with Felger, no Maz. So that'll be fun. But we got it all tonight. Red Sox currently just about to be in action. We got some Patriots news today. Bill Belichick's in the news again. I think he found a job, huh? How about that? Bill Belichick found a job. Some Bruins notes that are still out there. But we're all talking about the NBA, and if I could just give myself a retake from last night, I have never cared about who makes the Olympic team. Never. The only team I ever cared about was the 1992 Dream Team with Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and Michael Jordan. The Dream Team. We all remember the McDonald's Cups. We all remember. We've seen the documentaries. It was a great one if you want to check it out. I have never cared about who was on the Olympic team, and I'm going to tell you, I'm sure 95% of you never did either. But, man, we got ourselves a talk radio situation. And we played the sound off the top there. But back on Media Day, day one of the Celtics season, all wearing their jerseys, the media there gets one-on-one time with pretty much every single player or around everyone on the team, and they get to ask any question they want. They set up their goals. It's a great day. And on day one, Media Day, Jaylen Brown said playing in USA basketball, there is no greater honor. Being able to participate would be great. He has said it since day one. I didn't care back then either. I didn't care. No one did. When he talked about it, it was fluff. That's exactly what it was. Fluff. But here we are now. Celtics were the best team in the NBA, potentially one of the best teams of all time. They won a championship. Both of their stars, Jason Tatum and along with Jaylen Brown, faced adversity along the way. People saying one's not marketable while the other was. One was struggling while the other was carrying him. People were even calling them Batman and Robin. Right? One's the alpha, one's not. Even Jason Kidd tried to play that role when it came to the NBA Finals. Jaylen Brown's their best player, yet you're triple teaming Jason Tatum. This Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown thing has been going on for a very long time here. And they just won a championship a couple of weeks ago. And just celebrated the championship through the streets of Boston. These guys get along. They're friends. But it just keeps happening. And last night, when the Team USA announced that Derek White would be joining the team for Kawhi Leonard, it wasn't us who cared. It wasn't us who discussed it. We weren't saying why the snub, any of that. What happened was Jaylen Brown came out. He thinks there's something going on here. Now I do too. Jaylen Brown not being on the USA Olympic team has nothing to do with basketball. It has nothing to do with basketball. And I bring you back to Media Day, where he said he wanted to play USA basketball. Said how much of a great honor it would be. And being able to participate would be great. He's not being able to participate. Yet people are going to look for reasons why. They're going to look at his teammate. They're going to tell you that Jaylen Brown is disrespecting Derek White for making the team. And I think a lot of people are missing the point here. Jaylen Brown has his beliefs. Jaylen Brown has his allegiance to some players in this league. Jaylen Brown is a sneaker free agent, and Jaylen Brown has issues with Nike. It's been going on now for probably 2 to 3 years. And the fact that Team USA is backed by Nike, he's not a part of it. So people can sit here and tell me that when you look at this team and you look for a replacement, Derek White would be a better fit at the end of the bench. You can tell me that all day long. But I will tell you, there is not many players on that team that are better right now than Jaylen Brown. And I want to just keep saying I never cared about this. You never cared about who was on the Olympic team. That's not the story. The story is this guy is being left out for his beliefs or for things he thinks or feels or his thoughts on sneaker brands or people that are being endorsers, whatever. He's wanted to play. He was a part of the pool. He wasn't selected back then, and he's not being selected now. How is it that a guy that was left off All-NBA, who was a conference finals MVP, a finals MVP, a world champion, one of the biggest contracts in the NBA, yet he's left off one of the biggest teams, one of the biggest honors, he says? No greater honor? It's no longer about basketball. That's just a fact. It is no longer about basketball when it comes to the USA basketball team. And Jaylen Brown has every right to say what he's saying. Now, did he open up the can of worms? Absolutely. He absolutely did. And you know what? Is it a can of worms? If he feels like he's being slighted or he feels like he's being, let's call it what it is, blackballed, not allowed, that's certainly what it seems like right now for Jaylen Brown. And he doubled down today. He's not quitting. He doesn't care what your resources are. But he's blaming Nike. Maybe not so much Team USA. He's blaming Nike. And oh, what else came out of the weeds? The national media. I called it yesterday. I knew it would happen. You'll hear the audio coming up in just a little bit. But the Celtics are still the envy of the league. They won a championship. A couple of weeks later, they're selling the team. People had mixed feelings on them doing that. Jaylen Brown and Team USA, Nike, and then there's Stephen A. Smith, who says that back then, or just a couple of weeks ago, a month ago, let's say, Jaylen Brown wasn't marketable. One says, state your sources. Stephen A. claps back. You know who's off the hook? Wick Grossbeck. All of this happened in a couple of days spanned when we never cared about Olympic basketball and who makes the team. And here we are talking about it. We'll give you more on this. Jason Tatum was asked today about Jaylen Brown not being on the team. We'll give you that audio coming up on the other side. And I just wanted to ask everybody, is this now going to be a problem for the Boston Celtics? 3 of the players are over there. They're all going to be going to Paris. One of them's not. Is this now going to be a problem and something to monitor next season? It's hard to go back-to-back, specifically with what's going on with the salary cap and the aprons, etc. This team is running it back. Is this going to be a problem next season? Your thoughts at 617-779-0985. We're also on YouTube tonight. I just pick up the remote. I did it last night. I'll do it again. You just take the remote, you hit your little speaker, and you go 98.5 The Sports Hub YouTube. And it goes right to it. Or you can download it on your app, your phone, whatever. But we're here until 11 o'clock tonight. We got Skaz, our intern Kevin's here as well. I'm Joe Murray. You're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. On the way on 98.5 The
was going to get brought up. I wish you could see Paul Pierce's face, though. I wish you could see it. He almost like didn't let it happen and then was like, well, I'm the guest here, so. But it's so easy to do, right? Oh, he just wants a couple of weeks break. Remember?
Jason Tatum and Jaylen just don't really get along.
No. Nope. The truth. Who is super green teamer? I get it. Guy bleeds green. Come on. I think a lot of us know they have a good relationship. But what I won't dismiss, though, does that group look at Jaylen Brown differently? I don't think Jason Tatum does. I really mean that. I don't think he does. I don't think, I don't even know if Derek White is upset. I don't know. But I think what Jaylen Brown is doing is about him being basically, like, kept out of the club. He's being boycotted. Jaylen Brown's being boycotted. I agree. I feel like that is happening. So I don't know if Derek White's upset. But it kind of makes it look like he shouldn't even be there, right? Like if Jaylen Brown is saying, "Oh, Nike, is this how it's going to be?" It's kind of disrespectful to his teammate, Derek White. Now, we could tell you that there are other guys on that team that Jaylen Brown's better than, and some are on that team and some aren't. And this is why I bring up, is it something that could affect the team this year? And I think it is. I don't want it to. But, remember on draft night, Skaz, we were having some fun because there were 4 French players taken in the first round, and I've never taken French class before, so we just started pulling out French words. Like, is that now how Drew Holiday, Jason Tatum, and Derek White going to talk to each other now when camp starts next year? Oh, bonjour. How do you say and one in French? But I feel like there's going to be that now. Those guys got to go to France. They chilled in Paris. They're going to talk about how fun it was and how great it was. And, well, when I was hanging out with Braun this summer. Well, I don't know, man. Steph Curry told me. Kevin Durant wants to play for Miami. That's what we heard. Joel Embiid can't run up and down the court. That's what's going to happen now. And Jaylen's going to be the odd man out. And at this point, some people are saying that embrace this, that they want this, that they wish for this for a motivated Jaylen Brown next year. Is that good for the Celtics? Because at some point, he might want to go on his own, right? I know he likes it here. He says he likes it here. He likes playing with Jason Tatum. When he won the MVP, he shared it with him. He's done everything, said everything right as far as being a teammate. But the only time I really push back on it is Derek White making the team. And as I told you, I have never cared about the Olympic basketball team and who makes it. So, is it a story? Yep. Because it might involve the Boston Celtics and how they play next year and the culture of the team. That's what I think sucks about this whole thing. So, is it really a Celtic story? No. But could it be? Absolutely. But there's no doubt about it. Jaylen Brown's being boycotted by, I don't know, players on Team USA alone. I wrote an article about it today on 985thesportshub.com. You can check it out there. But there's a long history of Nike having some issues with Kyrie Irving. I know that, and by the way, Nike's going through a lot right now. I just read that they laid off a bunch of employees. The owner is one of the guys that's linked to the Celtics about buying the team. But if you go back a couple of years, and I'll get into the Stephen A stuff in a minute here, but Brown being left off Team USA has nothing to do with basketball. And not a lot of people can sit here and say that Brown is not a better player than some of the other options that are on that team. It's not the first time it happened. I'll remind you of Isaiah Thomas back in 92. Jordan didn't want him there. They kept him out. And I think Chuck Daly was fine with it because that was his player. And he was like, all right, cool. But Jaylen Brown has showed frustration not making Team USA. He's calling out Nike. Nike outfits Team USA. Brown has had previous issues with Nike in the past. And I agree when he says, since when did Nike care about ethics? Phil Knight spoke about Kyrie Irving, saying he stepped over the line. And I don't agree necessarily with Kyrie Irving's, what he does. I don't agree with a lot of what he does, but I do agree about Nike's ethics. Like, all of a sudden you're bringing that up. And there was criticism of Kyrie. Kyrie was suspended by the NBA for it. As I mentioned, Jaylen is a sneaker free agent. Did have a deal with Adidas in 2021. Wears Nikes. Covers them. The timing is very interesting, though, right? Stephen A. Smith, during the NBA Finals, talked about Brown's attitude, saying he's not marketable. Brown was seen wearing a shirt at the parade saying, "State your sources," at the parade. Stephen A. clapping back. Do y'all believe me now? Yo, Jaylen, do I need to reveal my sources now? Is it not obvious now? How in the hell is a $300 man, now a champion and NBA Finals MVP, who's clearly a top player on the Celtics and top 15 player in the world, not chosen for Team USA? It's a really good question. Because his teammate, not named Tatum, is selected before him. Come on, y'all. I think it's a little bit of a slight towards Derek White. I bet you White's not upset about it, but there's no doubt about it. He's being boycotted, and it has nothing to do with basketball. Your thoughts at 617-779-0985. We'll take a couple of calls here. Let's start with Tom. He's in Quincy. Hey, Tom.
Hey, what's up, Joe? Listen, I agree with you, man. This kind of stinks that this has to be a sports topic. And it's like, when does the drama about the two J's end? Because, I did think a championship would kind of put a lot of this to bed. But this is wishful thinking. I kind of wish none of the Celtics were on the Olympic team, and here's why. When we lost to the Warriors, a couple years ago, Tatum played summer ball, and basically towards the end of the playoffs, he was gassed. And that was kind of like where I kind of gave him the excuse where people giving him slack for, not playing that well. He was gassed. After the Miami series, after the series before that with the Bucks, he basically milked it all before the finals even started. So I kind of like that Jaylen's not in there just because we're going to need to give Drew Holiday and White some rest during the regular season. And Jaylen's going to have to carry the load for a little bit. So that's all I got.
Thanks. I kind of wish it wasn't Derek White now, but we have some audio. We'll play. We'll do it on the other side. We're going to do some Drake May later on because the Hard Knocks finally came out. There's a lot there. We have a lot to unpack tonight. We're with you till 11, 617-779-0985. I see Nate on the line. See some others on there. We'll get to your calls, but first, let's get to the Sports Hub headlines.
Sports Hub headlines.
The Red Sox taking on the A's over at Fenway Park tonight. They fell last night 5-2, but you know what? The team's back at it again today, and the Red Sox already out to a 3-0 lead early on. In this one, Masataka Yoshida had an RBI single, and Abreu had a double to right. 3-0 right now. Tanner Houck, all-star Tanner Houck on the mound, 3-0. Right now, top of the second inning. We just got some news a little while ago that the 76ers re-signing Kyle Lowry. He was bought out by Charlotte last year. Finished the season with the 76ers, averaged just about 8 points per game. There is some NFL news today. Jamal Adams signs with the Tennessee Titans, and Mass State Senate approves an amendment that could lead the way to a new soccer stadium in Everett. It's one of the first steps for potentially getting the Revolution a new soccer stadium. Headlines are brought to you by who here, Skaz, tonight? Who would you say it's from? Oh, Safety Insurance, providing comprehensive coverage for your auto, home, and business. Ask your independent agent about safety. I'm Joe Murray. Your next update in 30 minutes.
You're listening to Joe. You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5.
Before. That was before the playoffs. You know what, though? In a way, I kind of do want to know who the source is. Like, I'm team Jaylen Brown on this one because he's calling out something that's happening that's keeping him out. He's a great basketball player. He absolutely deserves to be on Team USA. How about this one? Has anyone even talked about this? He actually wants to go. Come on now. How many guys have been selected to the Team USA and have bailed out? It's been a common occurrence. Now, I know the last run with Coach K, he really kind of put some... A lot of the guys that are on there now are a part of it then, and they were glue guys for what the future of Team USA is. So I feel like they've put a lot into this. Team USA, for that matter. Colangelo, those guys. Which is exactly the reason why Jaylen Brown's not a part of it. The quote that Stephen A. had there was the I'm better than you attitude. I'm sure that was probably discussed about Jaylen Brown.
When you're the Finals MVP, can't you kind of have that attitude?
That's where I'm going with this, guys. It's kiss the ring season, right? It's kiss the ring season. That's where we're at right now. Because and listen, I don't know why. You know how Celtics fans get really upset when it's like, oh, Kendrick Perkins doesn't belong at the parade, and a lot of people got all bent out of shape about it. But yet Jaylen Brown is being boycotted from Team USA, but people aren't like supporting him. What's going on here? Like, what's up with that? I never cared. Again, I never cared. I got choked up last night, though. I got choked up talking about this for something I didn't care about at all. I certainly got choked up. You got that, Skaz? We'll do hockey talk coming up next here on The Sport. Can you play the part before where I was yelling about suck and yelling? I don't even know what I was saying. Because I didn't care. I don't care about Team USA basketball. You know, but it's like everyone's in an uproar when it's, oh, this guy's left off the team, or, oh, he said this about the Celtics. But Jaylen Brown literally being boycotted by Team USA and people aren't in an uproar about it? Blah, blah, blah. Stupid, stupid, stupid. I don't care. We'll do hockey talk coming up next here on The Sport. Yeah. What is that sound at the end there? Talk coming up next here on The Sport. I got choked up. I don't care about this. But I do feel like Jaylen Brown's getting hosed. Isn't this like what the Celtics fans want? Is one of their players getting hosed and complaining about it and proving why? Remember, you know those little, like, the stat muse? You know how they put the faces of, like, you know, this is what he did versus the... This is Jaylen Brown versus Tyrese Halliburton and other guys that are on Team USA. Where are those muses today? Where are you? I'm Team Jaylen Brown on this one. I understand why Team USA is doing what they're doing. I get it. You don't want to bring in a guy that views things differently. You want to protect the brand. And right now, I agree. I like Nike. There was a time in my life I didn't buy Nike. I love dogs. Didn't like the whole Michael Vick thing. Being serious, I didn't like it for a while. Right? They've employed a lot of bad people who do bad things. It's like they all of a sudden they care about ethics. I don't get into these type of conversations. I'm not that kind of guy. But it is strange that the NBA Finals MVP is being boycotted. And I'm just wondering if it's going to affect the Boston Celtics. That's what I care about. And again, the Skip Bayless stuff today, I knew it was coming. I knew it. The old line, I could smell you getting off the elevator. Oh, it was when you pulled into the parking lot, I smelled it. I just got this tweet. What if Tatum wanted Jaylen Brown and Nike told Tatum he would be dropped, so said okay, and then I want Derek White? I don't believe that either.
Nike is not dropping Jason Tatum.
I think Team USA was like, you know what, Jaylen Brown, come on, hey, you can try out for it. I think Jaylen Brown wanted to be there. He said he wanted to be there. I think they went with their whatever 15 guys or whatever it is. Listen, the one I'd be questioning, honestly, is Kawhi Leonard. The guy's a great player, but he can barely play anymore. And what I mean by barely play anymore is they couldn't even rely on him in a playoff run, you know? And now you want him to go to Paris and be one of the guys? That was a fault by them. They went with him over a guy like Jaylen Brown who can do multiple things. They never were going to have Jaylen Brown on the team, guys. They were never going to do it. He's never going to be a replacement. If Kevin Durant can't play and has to go home because of cramps, well, then it's not going to be Jaylen Brown. And for the people that want to talk about conspiracies, Woj had Derek White playing for Team USA before the final started, so don't give me that crap. But the more I look at it, I don't think he was ever going to play for Team USA because his freedom of speech.
Another thing that's kind of getting, looked over, because obviously we're in Boston, we're going to focus on the Jaylen Brown aspect of it. That's become the huge story. But, a guy like Damian Lillard, a guy like Donovan Mitchell, Kyrie Irving, these are other guys that were looked over too. And because of this whole Celtics Jaylen Brown angle, now that's just not getting talked about at all. So I think that's kind of interesting too. Like, how does Damian Lillard feel? How does Donovan Mitchell feel? Is Kyrie pissed? Do they feel snubbed? Because no one's focusing, no one's talking about that. Like, yes, Jaylen Brown was the finals MVP. He should have been on the team purely basketball wise, but he's not the only guy that was left off this team.
He wasn't. Caller mentioned that they wish it was like somebody else. I kind of wish that like Donovan Mitchell was the guy that was added to the team. Right? Would you know what though? Jaylen would have done this anyways. I think Jaylen would have done this anyways.
Yeah, I don't think this has anything to do with Derek White or Tatum.
No.
Zero.
So that's why I kind of feel like I don't know. I don't have any information. I know Forsberg's had sit-downs with Derek White this week. And I don't think Derek White knew at the time that he was going to be a part of the team. Maybe like his agent knew and said, hey man, be on standby. Be ready to go. He's not even going to be ready to get there, from what I gather. So, I have a feeling that there's a really good relationship there between White and Brown, and I feel like everyone in the locker room knows Jaylen Brown's stance. At least the Celtics understand it. Hey man, I don't even know if Jaylen Brown's right or wrong. Like, it's easy to sit here and say defending Kyrie Irving or having some of the beliefs as Kyrie. I don't agree with a lot of stuff that Kyrie does. But I've never looked at Jaylen Brown and felt like he was is he a smarter guy? Yeah. Is he an alpha? Sure. Do I think he thinks he's the smartest guy in the room? I don't know. He went to Cal. He's a smart kid. Is that what makes him and Tatum different? Yeah. Is one more outspoken than the other? Absolutely. Is one soft-spoken and a great player and the other a hard-nosed player who talks? Yep. I just don't feel like Jaylen Brown's wrong in this. I don't. And I think Team USA is a club, right? Listen, in all aspects of life, and I'm going to relate to you with your job, all right, or whatever school you went to, there's guys that you hang with at the cafeteria, and some people have a seat at the table and some don't. And when it comes to Team USA, LeBron, Steph, Durant, they all peacock around because they've been there for a while. It's their show. It's not Jaylen Brown's show. Jason Tatum's been invited to the show, and he's a big part of what Nike is. A big part of what Nike is. But Jaylen Brown, just not allowed at the table right now. 617-779-0985. Let's talk to Nate. He's in Marshfield. Hey, Nate.
Hey, I just wanted to call in and I heard that Skip Bayless take, and I just thought that's the most ridiculous thing ever because publicly, at least, they seem to get along just fine. So even if, say, they don't love each other, like they're not best friends, like aren't these dudes professionals and can't they settle like slight differences and play a game? Like I don't think this is as big of a story as I think this is just a July story, middle of the summer. People need something to talk about.
Do you think that you don't think that Jaylen Brown's being boycotted?
No, I agree, but I don't think Tatum has anything to do with it.
Okay,
That's the whole point.
I'm fine with that, but this is a story. A member of the Boston Celtics, because of his freedom of speech and his beliefs, is not allowed in the club of Team USA.
Yeah, but I guess that's just politics. Like anyone, if you say anything,
it's just politics. Like the stuff needs to end. We're in an era now where just politics needs to end. Like for years in radio, I was a guy. I was never in the locker room. I never worked for a radio. I never worked for a newspaper. I didn't write ads. I was a guy that showed up to a radio station one day and wanted to be on the radio. Worked my way up the ladder. How many doors closed in your face? How many times I had to eat crap just to like deal with things? You do it because you want to work your way up. You want to be in with the club. You want to be with the guys. But you have your own opinion. Do you think we do a show, Skaz and I, like everybody else at this station? No. Right? Hey, everyone else is super successful and have been doing it for a long time, and we've been here for over a year, and things are going okay. But if we do it like everybody else, you either evolve or you die. That's just what happens. But with Jaylen Brown, him not saying it and eating crap, it's not what he believes in. That's what's wrong. You know what? Nate, I'm sorry, bro, but you just triggered the hell out of me. This is what I just despise about the world in general, and I hate talking about things like this. But he should just deal with it, and it's politics? That's bull, and I'd love to swear if I could. That's bull. That's what's wrong. Having to just eat it up and deal with things, that's how it used to be. Because you had to just rub elbows with the right guys and do dirty deals with the right guys so you can be part of the club? Out. Absolutely out on that. I back Jaylen Brown 1,000%. I don't agree with everything he believes in, but I certainly believe he's being boycotted. No doubt about that. Keith is in Florida. Hey, Keith.
You know, Joe, I'm a big guy like you. I love food like you. And I used to think not Felger Mass, but Zolak and Bertrand was the best show of all the 98.5 shows. But I've been talking to you for months now, and your show is without doubt number one, and you should be on the top of the list. And I agree with you 110%. And as being a retired Army veteran and also a retired civil service servant with the VA, I think it's morally wrong that Jaylen Brown is being, castigated in this way, and he should be on the team. But here's my one concern. You brought up something interesting during the break. My wife called him Little Dad because he's a little guy and he got two kids. I'm talking about Derek White. Do you think it's possible that when the season starts next year that he could potentially, not anybody doing it intentionally, but he could be in the middle of this situation because the whole team's going to come together next year, and I'm sure that it's going to be brought up one way or another. Thanks for putting me on. I appreciate it. Love you, Joe.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Thank you. I think it could impact the team. I don't want it to. I think they're all mature enough. I think they know that they have something special here and are running it back. So if we're just keeping it to the Celtics, I think all those guys know how Jaylen Brown feels and respect him for it. And what Jason Tatum said today, I haven't talked to him, and I wish he was here. In a way, I think he's just riding the company line. And to my point, Jaylen Brown doesn't do that. Tatum is, right? He's got a lot of money. He's got a good deal at Nike. He's a good player. He wants to be there. He's part of the club. So he's backing his boy, but at the same time, he's riding the company line, and you all do it too. And I think that's what makes Jaylen Brown different. 617-779-0985. We'll continue the basketball conversation. Just wanted to mention something regarding Drake May. Something interesting came out of Hard Knocks. We'll play that for you coming up next here on the Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub.
For many people, gambling is a pastime. For others, it can be a serious problem, one that
somehow made an appearance on Hard Knocks of the Giants. I want to just put this one into everyone's heads. Play a little would you rather here. Would you rather Drake May at quarterback this year as a part of the Patriots, whether he starts or backs up or whatever? Would you have rather the Patriots on draft night traded back to 6 and had a first-round pick next year? I think it's a valid question. I think you have to bet on the quarterback. I think you just have to. But it was on the table. And during Hard Knocks, you could tell the Giants were interested in moving. If you do anything, Patriots, if somehow you're going to move off 3, we're interested in moving up, and we're going to give you our first-round pick next year. The Giants wanted Drake May. The Giants wanted him. They wanted him. They would have given up a pick swap and a pick next year in the first round. The Patriots declined that. I'm not going to forget that. That is going to be a talking point all season long. I still think they did the right thing and they bet on a quarterback, a guy they liked. But we have a talk show to do today, everyone. Would you rather Drake May or trade back to 6 and you have the first round pick next year? Certainly an option that the Patriots had and decided to go with May. All right, I see you guys lined up on the phone lines. More on this Jaylen Brown situation and how does it impact the team. I know Sam Hauser had some thoughts regarding the dynamic of both Brown and Tatum playing together. But I can't believe more people aren't outraged or defend Jaylen Brown here. I've said this before. There's no moral high ground on this show. But I'm just not going to knock Jaylen Brown for going at Nike about this. He's absolutely right. Team USA is the club, and they're holding him out of the club. And it's your guy on the Celtics. The same guy that led them to a championship. The same guy that won MVP over Jason Tatum, who's on that team. Your guy's being left off Team USA. Because why? His opinions? And his freedom of speech? But just go with it. That's just what we got to do these days. Just got to go with it. Yep. That's been going on far too long in this country. 617-779-0985. Of course, it's the Olympics, right? The Olympics that some people don't care about them at all. I never cared about John Stockton over Isaiah Thomas. Yep. Yeah, 2 Hall of Famers. That was a debate now. Now it's Derek White and Tyrese Halliburton or Jaylen Brown. Blah, blah, blah. Stupid, stupid, stupid. I don't care. That's got to go on a T-shirt. We can have 3 different T-shirts. One that just says blah, blah, blah. Stupid, stupid, stupid. I don't care. 3 shirts. Here on the sport. We got to get to the headlines. I'm Joe Murray here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
From the Town Fair Tire Studio, relatable, reliable, and even relentless at times.
We're doing it live.
This is Boston's home for sports. WBC FM and HD Boston 98.5 The Sports Hub.
A Beasley Media Group station.
Sports Hub headlines.
Red Sox in action over at Fenway Park right now. They lead the A's 4-0, top of the 4th inning. Masataka Yoshida with an RBI double. Wilyer Abreu doubled, and Connor Wong with a dong. He homered to left center, up 4-0 right now. Tanner Houck, all-star Tanner Houck, 3 innings, no hits, 3 strikeouts. A lot of strikeouts piling up for Red Sox pitchers of late. NBA news, 76ers re-signing Kyle Lowry. Jamal Adams, he's still in the league somehow, and the Titans picked him up. And the Revolution, the Senate approved an amendment that could lead the way to a new soccer stadium in Everett. This reported by our buddy Bill Spiros from bookies.com and the Herald. One step closer. Headlines, they are brought to you by Awaken with Any Weight Loss. Spending summer on the Cape? Yep. Abroad for vacation? Sure. Awaken 180's at-home program travels with you. That's good. Don't put your health off. Awaken180weightloss.com. I'm Joe Murray, and I'm all choked up.
You want to talk sports? We want to talk sports.
Squeeze the chicken and open the mouth.
It's like we were meant for each other.
This is why you need us.
98.5, the Sports Hub.
Yeah, that's going on right now. Then they'll go to Paris and play in the Olympics. We'll talk with Noah Dalzell coming up in about 15 minutes. She's with Celtics blog. I know she's got a bunch of audio and been talking to the guys. We'll get her opinion on everything that's happening with Team USA and the Celtics. How will this affect the Celtics? I got one. They return to camp, right? Bonjour. Parlez-vous français, right? They're going to be talking in French, right? They're going to be talking about, oh, this is what we did in Paris. And Jaylen's going to be like, yeah, it was fun. I just, that's what I can see getting in the way. You know, I can just see it. I'm sure that Jaylen Brown is outspoken in that locker room and people understand and agree with all his beliefs, or at least respect what he thinks and says. But there is something different, right? Kind of sucks when a bunch of your friends go out and do something, right? But you couldn't go. It's like you didn't go because you're respecting your friend. You know, you don't go with them because your boy dated that girl, so you don't go there. But all your friends went, and you're like, how was it? How was it? You don't like that. You hate that. Because you ain't in the club anymore. You're not in the club. Jaylen Brown's not in the club anymore. I don't know if people are in an uproar enough about this. And the whole Jaylen Brown making himself marketable, I don't think he's not marketable. Good-looking dude, right? Nice clothing line. Speaks well. Smart dude. A lot of beliefs. I never thought he wasn't marketable. Let's talk to Stanley and Taunton. Stanley.
Hey, Joe. How are you?
Good, bro.
Can you hear me good?
I can hear you, bro.
You might hear my 1-year-old in the background. So I'm just going to keep it brief and short. You got to remember, and I'm not trying to get blackballed or anything on the show. Jaylen Brown is known to be Muslim. 1, 2, the fact that he's spoken up and backed Kyrie on certain situations, he's still receiving blowback from that.
Yep.
And to be honest, nobody's talking about how Nike is basically saying, Jaylen Brown, you don't hold the Americans' values. That is why you're not on this team, and you've already been on this team before. But you've grown an opinion, and you shouldn't have an opinion. Because you remember what happened in 2017, right, with Cap and all them? Just shut up and dribble. That's all it is right now. Shut up and dribble. Shut up and play ball. You should not have an opinion. You get paid millions of dollars, and you should not have an opinion. That's basically what they're saying. And we can't disagree. As a media, as a country, you can't. Whatever affiliate on whatever side you're on, you can't.
Yeah, Stanley, you're saying everything right, man. That's my point. Is that he's being held out for basically his own freedom of speech. He's not part of the club, bro. He's not part of the club.
But Joe, you got to remember, man, and I'm not trying to get too into it. We're polarized right now. We've been polarized as a nation since 2016, and look, we're still doing it now. It's getting worse.
Yeah, but isn't he one of the trailblazers behind this?
Yeah.
And he's being left off.
Come on, man. Don't not you, but don't disrespect my intelligence when I bring that up to a conversation. Yo, you know why he's blackballed, right? For this reason, and everybody looks at me funny. Don't disrespect my intelligence. I'm not referring to you, Joe, but I'm just talking about in general.
I'm certainly not, sir. I think we're on the same. I think we're on the same page here. No, I hear you. I know. Listen, this is a boss. Let's take politics and opinions out of it. He is not allowed to play on Team USA. Because, A, maybe his opinions, A, him calling out Nike, and the fact that Team USA has a relationship with Nike. That's why he's not there. It has nothing to do with basketball. And it's one of the players that plays for the team you root for and that you go and watch, who is a trailblazer and a guy that, speaks up. Not a lot of people speak up in that sport. Michael Jordan was criticized for that for years.
But the thing is, too, you got to remember, he's also the VP of the Players Union. If you don't have a union rep speaking for you on behalf of you as the player, and also even in the community when you're like local 125 Teamsters or something like that, if there's nobody speaking up for you, then what's the point of having a union, man?
Stanley, you're making good points, bro. Appreciate you. I never thought about that, Skaz. The VP of the Players Union is not a part of Team USA? I guess I haven't put that in there yet. I didn't think of it like that. And again, no moral high ground on this show. I don't agree with a lot of Kyrie Irving's opinions, and I know that Jaylen has supported some of those, so I don't live on that side of the street. But I do feel like Jaylen Brown, when he's making an opinion, he feels I am not gonna dismiss his feelings, and I don't think anybody should. Is that true? He is the VP of. I don't know if you looked it up.
Yeah, he is one of the VPs. Since 2019.
Who are the others? Just so I know.
I know CJ McCollum's one.
Okay, he's not on the team. Okay, no. Okay, go ahead. I'll take another call. We'll look that up. Let's talk to Mike. He's in Leominster. Hey, Mike.
Yeah, hi, Joe. Hey, I think I just hit a dead spot. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, bro.
Good. I'm through it. There's one stupid dead spot here. Hey, yeah, I totally agree with you, Joe. I mean, totally. And I'm going to say something. No Brown, no Banner. He was such a clear MVP of the Eastern Finals and the Finals. And, not just the stats, but everything he did at key moments in the games. And the matchup problems he caused, his mid-range game, his tremendous defense, and how about his leadership? Okay, for all those reasons, he was, to me, and not because he, a lot of slam dunks that he, part of his game, but he was the slam dunk MVP of both of those series. And again, I totally agree with you. He should have been on the team once Kawhi Leonard was dropped. He definitely should have come on. He's basically the same profile player, and he's a lot younger.
Should have been on before, Mike. You should have been on way before that.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. And to keep him off for the reasons, for those reasons, is an outrage. You're talking about how's it going to affect the Celtics going forward. Hopefully, this motivates him to even just try harder to win more championships. And it's going to be tough. I mean, there's a lot of things going on here.
So,
Philly's really improved. Yep. New York's got a wagon coming in. I think New York would have been a real tough matchup for anybody to see if they stayed healthy.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. I have a developing. I'm air frying a take. I just put it in the air fryer, 450. I'm going to put it on there for 15 minutes. I have a developing take. I've heard people say, hope Jaylen Brown is motivated next year. Hope Jaylen Brown. This is good for Jaylen Brown next year. I've heard that a bunch of times. So I have a developing take. What do you laugh? You guys are laughing back there.
Just the off-air show.
Oh, okay.
Just callers. Kevin dealing with the callers.
That's right. He likes to have conversations.
He's screening hard tonight.
Hey, is tonight the ESPYs?
Tonight is the ESPYs, Joe.
Did you see Jaylen Brown in there?
No, yeah. Jalen Ray's got the trophy with him. Looks like he's having a great time.
Oh, he's got a couple of trophies.
Yes. Would you like to hear the NBA Players Union reps?
Yes, please. This is great.
All right. So your president since 2021 is CJ McCollum.
Okay, he's not on the team.
Your vice president, your first vice president, Joe, don't want to slight the man, would be Grant Williams.
Okay.
2023 to present. Your secretary treasurer, Harrison Barnes.
Okay.
Your vice presidents are Bismack Biyombo, Malcolm Brogdon, and Jaylen Brown.
Okay.
To go along with Jaren Jackson Jr., Donovan Mitchell, and Garrett Temple. And then if you're looking for, so each team has a player rep. If you're looking for a member of Team USA that is a player rep, the Indiana Pacers player rep is Tyrese Halliburton. The Celtics player rep, they're going to need a new one. It was O'Shea Brissett, but their first alternate was Derek White.
Who was an Olympian?
So Derek White was their first alternate. Maybe now he becomes there. So you have Jaylen Brown and Derek White. Jaylen Brown, vice president.
So they have two. The Celtics essentially will have two members, and they had O'Shea Brissett in there at one point.
So they have a team.
And Brogdon was there at one point.
And Grant Williams.
At one point. And they are not on Team USA.
Now we're really searching.
Yeah,
we're in the weeds.
The pot. Just keep throwing it in the pot. I got to ask you, though, is her name Sayer Gondrezic? Who is this?
She's a WNBA player, I believe.
She is just an absolutely beautiful human being. And I mean stunning. She is absolutely stunning and is by Jaylen Brown's side.
I believe she was with him at the parade as well.
Wow.
Like he looks very happy at the
He's dressed to the tens, and so isn't she. Good for you, Jaylen Brown. Oh, we're going to have Noah Dalzell coming up in just a little bit here from Celtics blog. She is the one that just posted the video of Jaylen Brown thriving at the ESPYs tonight. So we'll ask her about what's going on. He looks like he's got a couple of trophies by his side. We'll talk to Noah coming up next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more.
and the rest of the selections, I think, just a good reminder for people that they were made far before this playoff run, and where, he didn't complain about it at the time, and I think he probably would have if the whole team was released right now if he wasn't on it the same way that he is about the snub.
All right, so Derek White is added to the team. Just probably a thrill for him. And, of course, Jason Tatum's there and Drew Holiday. But do you think there is anything with Jaylen Brown, calling out Nike for not being a part of the team when Derek White was announced? Do you think that was, I don't want to call it disrespect, but do you think there was anything there of White making the team and Brown saying something about it? Was that a disrespect towards his teammate or not showing respect to his teammate for making it?
Well, I definitely don't think it was his intention. It's a tricky situation because it obviously has become this dialogue over the last few days of should Derek White have been on this team? And I think regardless of Jaylen Brown's tweets, it would have been a dialogue because there were several all-stars that were left off this team and Derek White was put on it. And I personally think he was a great choice to round out that roster. But I don't think Derek White feels disrespected. I don't know. Maybe they chatted offline and, we're all reading into a couple of tweets that are really directed at this big corporation and not at his teammates. I could just say that all year talking to Jaylen Brown, asking him about his teammates, Derek White and Jaylen Brown, the way that they praise one another, it might be one of the highest praising duos on that team as far as just anytime you ask Derek about Jaylen or vice versa, it was just oozing praise and respect. And so the last thing I think he intended is to make people think that Derek White is, to shed any disrespect in his game or to make him feel bad. Maybe that was a consequence that he didn't really think through, that he decided, was worth, the political aspect of whatever, it is that he's articulating. But yeah, I don't think it was his intention. And I would be surprised if it was at the forefront of Derek White's mind right now as he kind of figures out last minute has to get to the Olympic team after running a basketball camp for kids these past few days in Colorado.
Yeah. No, I want you to know, I have never cared about players who make or don't make the USA team. The team I cared about was 1992. That was the Dream Team with Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, etc., Michael Jordan. So we used to get the McDonald's cups. That's how I remember the players. You know what I mean? So I never cared, and I don't want to make this a story. But here we are. This is now something we have to talk about today. And, of course, what happens at practice for Team USA, a reporter's got to do their job, right? They asked Jason Tatum if he has spoken to Jaylen Brown. He said no. And also asked if it's hard not having him there, and he says yeah. So, just what do you think Jason Tatum is thinking at the moment regarding everything happening with Jaylen Brown?
I think he's probably thinking, I hope I can get through this scrum without getting asked about this, because I've been thinking about it since I saw that video. I don't think there's anything he could have said there that would have been the easy right answer. He was asked first, you said, he was asked about whether he has spoken to Jaylen Brown. I think that's a good piece of objective news to gauge. I think sometimes people don't have a sense of how often these guys are in communication. I was not surprised if they hadn't been in touch about it. And then that second answer around whether he said, there's a lot of good guys that weren't able to be on this team. He's obviously not going to say he should be here instead of one of my current teammates that I'm, pursuing gold with, because that would be a shot at the program that he's currently representing. He's not going to say he should have had that last spot because that's, his teammate Derek White got that spot. So he was kind of in a no-win situation to really say anything, and I think he handled it well by kind of saying nothing, honestly. But he's in a tough spot because now I'm seeing all these crazy narratives out there around they did this on purpose so that Jason Tatum would have a break from Jaylen Brown. That was a Skip Bayless quote from today, I believe. So I think it's just, it's a slow time of year for sports. It's a slow time of year for the NBA, and this was kind of the perfect fodder for some discourse for people.
A story that's a non-story that's going to be a story.
I know.
And we're talking with Noah Dalzell. Check out her work over at Celtics blog. Who's kind of in the clear right now is Wick Grossbeck, right? Obviously, the Celtics sales up there. People are wondering who and wondering now what Wick's role was during the whole entire process here. But have you had a chance to talk to any of the players, or obviously you're around a bunch of the reporters? What's been the reaction of the Celtics up for sale, and have you heard of any names that could potentially take over?
I haven't heard of any specific names. I will say I think the general sentiment is everybody's kind of hopeful that it's the Pagliuca family that can kind of assume ownership here. and as little rocking of the boat as possible, I think, is the ideal. So I don't think people saw it coming. I don't think the players saw it coming. I don't think the people around the organization necessarily saw it coming. So it was kind of a shock, especially the day that it happened, just hours after Derek White's extension, right before Jason Tatum's extension. Tatum mentioned he was shocked. He had no idea it was coming. He hopes that it doesn't disrupt kind of what they built. So I think, nobody was happy to hear it, because I think Wick has been a great owner for the Celtics and also has a great personal relationship with a lot of the players. But the hope is that rather than a completely new ownership group, that it would be able to kind of remain. And honestly, I've been asked this a bunch of times. I should probably look up at the financials, but I'm really not sure if Steve Fazuka is a good candidate from a financial standpoint, or if it's just kind of a shot in the dark right now that people are hoping this works out.
All right, let's talk a little bit of basketball. They're running it back, the team this year. How do you grade their offseason? I guess running it back, 15 to 17 people coming back to the team.
I give it an A+, and I'm glad we got to something positive, because I thought all summer we were going to be talking about this championship, but there are all these problems that emerge, whether it's the sale or now this controversy. But I think bringing back everybody on that team is the best thing that they could have done, because you had just such a complete roster that even was able to withstand the injury to one of the most important players on the team. And everybody's going to get better, too. That's kind of the most interesting part here, is that you got a lot of guys that are in their prime, reaching their prime, or in a developmental stage where you can anticipate they're going to make that jump. I think Neemias Queta is going to be a guy who's going to become a rotation level big, and I was really hoping the Celtics were going to be able to keep him. Obviously, to the broader world, he's not a name that people are really monitoring in free agency, but when you get to know these guys and you see how hard they work and how integrated they are with the franchise, how much investment they put into them from the developmental standpoint, I do think, it's super cool that they were able to retain him and Luke Cornett and bring back Xavier Tillman on a 2-year minimum. I did not see that coming. I thought Tillman was definitely going to get something a little bit higher than that, a 2-year, $12 million, I don't know, something in that ballpark range. And Austin Ainge mentioned that several players took pay cuts, and that was pretty obvious. But the most important piece, I think, was the Derek White extension, because I wasn't sure if they were going to be able to get it done. I know that he probably could have made more money on the free market next summer, but he really wanted to stay. I don't think he's the kind of guy that was going to worry about every last dollar. He really just wanted to kind of get it out of the way and make a home in Boston and know that he has kind of the ability to relax and enjoy it. And so being able to extend him and Tatum, that was probably the most important part of the summer. And Tatum's extension was kind of, everybody knew it was coming, but Derek White's people really weren't sure. So the fact that they got it done this early in the summer, I think it's probably the best thing that happened to the Celtics this offseason.
All right, final question for me. We've seen a champion and then a different champion 6 years in a row. Just dating back over the last couple of years, right? In the bubble, the Lakers won and kind of struggled the next season, right? The Bucks win. Giannis struggles the next year. Last year, it's Denver. They lose Brown and kind of ran out of gas, right? Can something like this happen to the Celtics? And could whatever is happening right now with Jaylen Brown and even Drew Holiday and Derek White, can any of this affect what they do next year or have some sort of grip of a reason why they can't repeat next year?
I don't think any of this will affect it. Derek White is the last guy I'm worried about from an ego standpoint, that he would hold a grudge on something. I think he knows Jaylen well. All these guys know each other well. I don't think anything here is super out of left field as far as their general behavior. But you do bring up a really good point that it's really hard to repeat. As hard as it is to win, it's even harder to win twice in a row. And one of the reasons I think a lot of teams in recent years have not been able to is because they've lost key pieces. And it ends up being like everybody else got a little bit better and you got a little bit worse and maybe a little bit less motivated. And this Celtics team, obviously, like we just talked about, they didn't lose any big pieces. They didn't lose anybody. And maybe O'Shea Brissett and Steve highlights, but they were pretty much able to retain everybody that was on the floor. And so that's a huge advantage. But above both of those, I think the primary thing that makes me optimistic about their chances is the fact that Joe Mazzulla is somebody that I trust, is right now probably as we speak studying dynasties and studying back-to-back championships. And he's already talked about how he started doing that the second that they won. And I think there's not going to be a passive energy around this group next year. And a lot of it is going to have to do with him and kind of the mindset that he really, cultivated this past year and will continue to cultivate next year. So bringing back the same group that's already everybody's young in their prime and maybe even getting better. And then with this coach, I think they have a good chance. I don't think they're like definitely going to do it or are even really likely to do it because, you have to have a lot of things go your way, but they're as well suited as any team I've seen in the last decade. I would say maybe the Warriors are the one exception.
Well, Noah, you said it earlier. You thought we'd just be talking about a championship all off season long, and here we are just not. Right?
I know. I get it. It's just I wanted another week, just one more week to enjoy the championship.
Geez, well, they'll enjoy the SBs tonight and continue the great job you're doing. We appreciate you taking a few minutes here, and you can follow Noah Dalzell, NBA on Twitter, and, of course, over at Celtics Blog. Noah, appreciate the time. We'll hopefully we have some basketball to talk about next time we talk.
I'd love it. Yeah, thanks for having me.
You got it.
Have a good one.
Yep, you too. Noah Dalzell, everybody. Check out her work. Nice little story that she has at the top of her Twitter if you want to read about that on how she got into the business here. So we'll take a quick break. We'll get a look at the Sports Hub headlines, and we'll talk about something else coming up next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines.
Red Sox have a 5-0 lead right now, top of the sixth inning. Tanner Houck, all-star. Tanner Houck's 5 innings, 1 hit. 5 strikeouts on 83 pitches. They got a home run from Connor Wong. Wilyer Abreu also went deep in this one. He's got a couple of RBI so far in Masataka Yoshida with an RBI as well. Some NBA news today. 76ers have re-signed Kyle Lowry. He was with the team last year, who scored just 8 points. And some news regarding a new stadium in Everett. The Senate has approved an amendment that could lead one of the next steps into a new stadium for the Revolution. Headlines, they are brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Enjoy quick and convenient vehicle maintenance this month. Visit NewEnglandOilChange.com for 15% off your next drive-through oil change at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, now open in Rainham, Reading, and Braintree. I'm Joe Murray. Your next update in 30 minutes. it here. Don't know if I really want to talk sports. Like, it's not about what I want to do. I get it. I mean, I know my name is on the title of the show, so I'm not going to pull that card or anything like that. But, like, what do you guys want to talk about? We can continue this conversation if you'd like about Jaylen Brown being snubbed from Team USA. I mean, you should have just saw us in the back trying to figure out who was singing at the ESPYs. Right? The ESPYs are on. That was something I used to always avoid, Skaz. Always avoided the ESPYs. Didn't care.
I thought they used to do it when there was nothing on, like the day after the All-Star
That's
game.
what I thought it was.
Yeah.
That's how they could get everyone together.
And now it's Thursday, July 11th, and the first time I heard about it was when I saw the commercial today.
Do you want to know what I saw? This is totally random. Do you know that there was a woman who found a Larry Bird autographed jersey at the Salvation Army? In a it wasn't a thrift shop. Imagine just finding a jersey and it's got the tag on it and everything, a Larry Bird jersey. My buddy Phil over at Sports World looked at it. Bought it for $6. It's worth over $300. I feel like I need to now go thrifting.
You ever been thrifting, Joe?
Oh yeah. Oh, yes.
What's the biggest score Joe Murray's ever gotten?
Well, I sold, I got a card once that I saw it and I went, hey, you know what? This might be worth something. I got it graded, came back, couple hundred bucks. But thrifting, I mean, I know what I like? American Pickers. You ever watch that show? Right? Frank's always aggravated, you know? Then there's like the other guy that's always like, you know, whippersnapper kind of.
I'm of the belief that show could be somewhat staged.
Of course it is.
Like where they pick like the you know,
they climb
storage units.
Storage units. That's absolutely rigged.
Absolutely
that thing
staged.
Is fake as hell. That one fake. Now Pawn Stars, I think, is a little bit predetermined, right? Because I know a lot of people that have gone to that shop and they can't even, you know, there's a line out the door to get there. But that show, the
Storage Wars.
Storage Wars.
American Pickers.
Pickers, though, a little different. You know? I guess Danielle from American Pickers now is taking on a new venture. I haven't gone on that site, but I heard it's good. Justin and Lynn. Justin!
Hey, Joe!
How you
want to talk
doing?
about the Red Sox. We got a game going on.
I know.
Hawk looks really good.
That's right.
And I'm really impressed with how he's pitching tonight.
He's an
And
all-star.
I'm really impressed with this offense, the way they're swinging the bat lately, bud.
Yeah, man. Hey, bro, I got a question for you. What's your favorite pizza in Lynn?
My favorite pizza in Lynn?
Yeah.
Fosse.
There we go.
Yes.
I'm Team Fosse. Sweet sauce, right?
Yes, absolutely, Joe. And I got a podcast to do, too. So
when are you going to have me on?
I'm on YouTube.
We're losing you. I heard a little something in the background there. You email me. I'll come on Justin's show.
So you're in on Haukamania?
Hauk? Oh, are they doing? Is it?
There's signs in the crowd at Haukamania. They're selling T-shirts. Haukamania. I know we're doing in or out next, but yeah, with a little teaser. Joe Murray, in or out on Haukamania.
I'm a wrestling fan. I'd put it on the board. Like all right, let's spitball some ideas. Let's spitball. Let's try to be a little bit better than Haukamania.
It's a long season, Joe. You know, you gotta do stuff to keep the people involved. I've heard worse.
What can we do with Tanner?
Danny Tanner, the Full House with Tanner Houck.
Oh, Haukamania. Is that really?
They have the font too. They're using like the Hulk font.
So what you gonna do, brother, when Tanner Houck and the Red Sox run wild on you? Not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. I feel like Tanner Houck does more than a leg drop and a boot.
She start ripping the jersey as he comes off the mound.
Every strikeout, he just rips it.
Just a little bit more and more.
I mean, maybe a bandana. Maybe he should wear the bandana under his hat. You know? When he comes out to the mound, do they play, I'm a Real American? It's got to be something better than Hulkamania out there. Oh, God. You ever read the chat every once in a while? It's not a good... Sometimes you just got to stay away from it. But I do want to say what's up to our friends that are in there tonight. I haven't heard of some of these people. Bede Pudster? Who's that? CTG Cement. Is that a company?
I always get nervous when you start reading the names. You never know what's going to pop up in that chat.
KB says, Joe started the JT narrative last night. We can blame Joe for all the mess. I sniffed it. I sniffed that thing out last night. It was oozing when I came into the studio. So you know what? One thing I always loved about the television show Ren and Stimpy? Maybe it was a little over your time. Maybe Skaz, you too.
I remember Ren and Stimpy.
But whenever they showed something that was gross, it always looked like the most gross thing. Like if they showed like someone's feet, you would see all the fungus and like the smell coming off it. That's what when I looked at this story, I went, oh, this has Skip Bayless written all over it.
SpongeBob was great at that too.
It's all Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
I mean, probably the same creator, I bet. But whenever SpongeBob was like got flattened or whatever,
you got the suds.
Yeah. Oh yeah. By the way, this is totally random. None of us have kids here. Bluey mania is like out of control.
You know it's out of control because I don't have kids, you don't have kids, and I am very aware of Bluey.
Bluey's taking over the world. No, it's funny. I watch some Bluey sometimes, right? I feel like the dad from Bluey. Like Bluey tries to... Like I watched an episode recently where the dad wanted to take a nap, right? And he goes, hey, clean up all this stuff, and when you do it, I'll give you a star. And then he, cleans up the stuff, gives the star, but wants to go take a nap on the couch. But Bluey's like, nope, I just want this one star. And it's like you tried to give the kid all these stars, but he's happy with the one star, but all you want to do is take a nap. I feel like Bluey's dad really it's just a really tough time for him. I don't even know his name. And then he's got a brother or something or a sister. I don't know who it is. But like Bluey's dad is always manipulated by the kids.
Is Bluey a Blue's Clues ripoff?
No.
It's a completely different thing.
I did not put the two together. I am not putting the two together. Why are people... What's going on back there? There's multiple calls. What happened?
People were very curious about what the outro song is for the show.
Our show?
Yes.
The outro?
Yes, what we play at the end of the show.
What is it?
It's I Sat by the Ocean by Queens of the Stone Age.
Oh, they had to stop touring. The outro is what they cared about?
Apparently, hey, I'm just the messenger. That's what Kevin told me. Apparently, we get
Two people called about that?
We get calls about the Incubus too. The Are You In? People love to.
So sometimes people just call just to know the imaging that we use.
I've had people call about commercials that we play, wondering if I have the phone number for the companies.
Yeah. Hey, can you give me Felga's number? Why? Riz is in there. Oh, Riz is singing the log song. I love that song. It's log, log. It's big, it's heavy, it's wood. It's log, log. It's better than bad. It's good. Everyone loves a log. You're going to love a log. What happened?
We got Liberty minus 9.5. They're up 11.
Oh, things are going well.
Things are going well right now.
This is what I mean by I'm not in the club. You guys back there are having you got two TVs going, having off-air conversations with the chat too. By the way,
we haven't had Lonely Joe in a while because I'm alone back here. Not as much as I used to be.
That's true.
But yeah, when Jeremy was here, or me and Jeff or whatever, there were some nights.
There's nights where I'm just like, I want to know what's going on back there. You can get blue.
Yeah, don't read that one. I almost read that one as well.
That show Bluey, I'm telling you, man. Bluey's like taking over the world.
I think Kevin's learning a lot from our chat. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I don't know if that's good for him. He laughs, though, every time. Christina's in there, too. Hey, last night, Christina took a call from we took her on the air. And we had to go. I didn't hang up on her. She called back. It was, that guy's a POS. And then she told Christina, tell Joe to meet me here. She wanted to fight me. She felt I hung up on her? What? Did you have more to say? We got In or Out coming up next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
What's it gonna be, McFly? Are you in or out?
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub.
or out. Gotta know without a doubt. I'm the one you need for a dirty deed. I'm the best. Success is guaranteed.
I think you get Oreos, M&Ms. I think you can pick.
So you get them all. You put them all in one.
When the ice cream machine's actually working.
Yes. Now, I'm not sure if people have known this. I've said this on the show before. But when they give you a spoon at McDonald's, if you notice, you get a nice plastic spoon, but at the top of it, there's a square. That square is to put into the made contraption that McDonald's made that spins it. It's the spinner. And that's what makes the McFlurry. Now, I have been places before where they just give it to you without the spinner.
I was going to say, yeah, they're not spinning that.
I'd be like, hey, man, can you spin this for me? And they're like, oh, the machine's down. And I know they're lying to me. I know that. I don't want to hand, like, you ever make potatoes? You know how you can, like, mash it? Sorry. The motions don't
looking
look
like
so
Shohei Ohtani right now.
I'm belly laughing from that one. But, you could also get the machine that, or like when your mom made brownies growing up, right? When your mom made brownies growing up, there was that thing, right? That, and she's like, do you want to lick it? You're like, yeah. I learned a lot from that thing. Anyways, the point is, I want my McFlurry stirred. I want it around in the machine. So I'm in, but do your job. Thank you. That's what the spoon's made for. Next.
All right, Joe. A company called No More Coffee, who is trying to start making coffee substitutes for people who don't want to drink coffee in the morning, has released a tube of coffee paste you can buy and use as a toast spread. So, Joe, are you in or out on a coffee spread?
Out. I would just get a cream cheese coffee. Or, what does this do for you? What do you need that? Like me, all right, true, this is a true statement from me. This really happened to me 2.5 years ago. I gave up soda. I do not drink soda anymore. It was a huge problem for me. I could drink 2 liters of ginger ale a show. Literally, I could. When I would do mornings with Fred and friends, I would get, I don't know if you knew this, but I did the double dip on the mile.
Little Starbucks, or
I would go
2
to,
coffees.
I'd go to Starbucks to get the coffee on Route 1. By the way, it was all on the way to work. So I would stop at Starbucks, get coffee from them, and then I would go to Dunk's and get food from them because I preferred the food at Dunk's over the coffee. You get what I'm saying?
The double dip.
So I double dipped every morning, and Riz and family would always ask Joe, what's in the bag? What's in the bag? Every day. But when I gave up soda, I gave up coffee. But do I like the smell of coffee? Yep. My buddies own Atomic up in the North Shore, and whenever I see it, I smell the bag. I just, did you ever see Harold and Kumar? You know when he just sees the big bag of grass, he just wants to stick his head in it? That's what I'm like when I smell coffee. Except I'm like that too when I smell grass, but the same thing though. Sometimes
Tell before I even finish the question just by your facial expression if you're in or out.
Really? Is it like the video game when Piston Honda would move his eyebrows and then you knew to punch? You knew he was going to punch you? Or King Hippo would go like this? You know Joe's answer and when he's going to do it? All right, what's next?
All right, Joe, old friend and 8-time Super Bowl champion, Coach Bill Belichick has a new job. Belichick will be joining Inside the NFL this upcoming season alongside Ryan Clark, Chris Long, and Chad Ochocinco. Joe, are you in or out on Bill Belichick joining Inside the NFL?
In. I think he's a really good broadcaster. I think when he is sharp and can do his thing, he's great. And I think he's got a really good relationship with Chad Ochocinco. Obviously, he played here. And Chris Long played with him, right, as well? He coached him? I mean, don't tell me that wasn't orchestrated to get Bill Belichick to come in. I'm in on it. I like the crew. You know what, though? I am kind of interested in how Chad Ochocinco works with Bill? Because I think Chris Long's really good. Who's the host again? I'm sorry. It doesn't matter. It's a talking head.
I think Ryan Clark might be the host.
I like Ryan. I like Ryan
sure.
Clark. He's good. He's really good. In on this. Ooh, Ryan Clark, Bill Belichick, old Steelers. That'd be good. Hey, remember that time Brady threw 5 times behind your head? I'm in on that one. I mean, Bill got a job, right? And now, as I said, his new girlfriend's been teaching him what life's like after football. This is what life's like after football. You become another washed-up talking head.
A lot of interesting calls into the midday about that topic today.
What the hell happened today on that show?
It was very funny.
We do that every once in a while here at night. But
some of the calls left me speechless. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
All right, Joe. Today is 7-Eleven Day, Joe. It's National Slurpee Day. So, Joe, are you in or out on 7-Eleven Day?
In. Now, here's the deal. Now, Kevin won't remember this, but growing up in Hyde Park, we didn't have a 7-Eleven in the area. We had to drive to Quincy to get Slurpees. And back then, when 7-Eleven was a Slurpee joint, you guys ever see Half Baked? You know, when he walks in and it's like they can't find his buddy, but he's living in the Slurpee machine? That's what it was like in the, how old was I? Early 90s. So there was no 7-Eleven. Now they're popping up everywhere. 7-Eleven's got food. 7-Eleven there's some brands that have deals with that will only work with 7-Eleven. But yeah, could I go into 7-Eleven today and get a free Slurpee? Is that what 7-Eleven Day is?
Yes, Kevin did that earlier today.
A cherry Slurpee or a watermelon. And now I've missed out on a golden opportunity. And I'll tell you in musings why. Missed out on that golden opportunity today. But back in the day, we used to take the ride to Quincy, man. Cut through East Milton Square. We'd hang out outside and drink our Slurpees and what are these Quincy kids going to do today? They did nothing. A slush puppy or Slurpee?
I think I lean slush puppy.
Do you know what I like about slush puppies? Is you can mix. I used to mix them all. Forget about just one, bro. I was a pumper. Multiple flavors and pumping. That's what I was doing. The best, though, I'm sorry, is a Richie slush. But growing up, the Richies didn't leave the North Shore area. It was hard to come to the Rossi area at the time. But eventually they came into the bodega and got my watermelon slice in there. But thank you, 7-Eleven, for free Slurpees. Again, I won't drink soda, but I'll go at a Slurpee.
All right, Joe. Last summer, I should say, Netflix gave us a quarterback, a documentary, NFL films, whatever you want to call it. Look behind the curtain at some NFL quarterbacks. This week it debuted. We are getting a receiver version of this, featuring Justin Jefferson, George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, Devontae Adams, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Joe, are you in or out on receiver?
In. So, I got tipped off from someone today. And maybe we can find the audio when it comes up. Maybe we can do this another night. I don't know. Or tomorrow, maybe. Who knows? I guess Devontae Adams not a big fan of Jimmy Garoppolo.
What a shock.
Who does Devontae Adams like?
Aaron Rodgers.
Is that the only one he likes?
Might be. Nah, he's a Carr fan, or he was in college.
But yeah, I heard Jimmy G, not a fan among.
Taking some strays?
Yeah, I heard that. But, I'm in on it. You know what, though? You know why? Weird take, but when it comes to the Hall of Fame, right? How many receivers truly go in? It's been happening more of late. But for years, the receivers always had, Andre Johnson got in recently, Calvin Johnson got in. I'm trying to think of some others. That
I don't think Ocho Cinco's in.
No, he's not. Terrell Owens did make. He was phenomenal, by the way. But I think it's harder to be a skill position receiver. And nowadays, like Wes Welker's not in the Hall of Fame, but they want to give Julian Edelman consideration. And Cena's going to leave his Kowloon sneakers in the ring and walk out. That's my prediction. But right now, the favorite is Randy Orton, followed by Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, The Rock. I think Bautista's done. Braun Breaker would be interesting. Could he put him over and then let him go on his run? Anyways, wrestling talk, yeah. Is that it?
That's going to do it for a Thursday night edition of In or Out.
So the ESPYs are ongoing right now.
Yes, we might have some sound from Jaylen Brown on the red carpet after these headlines.
Jaylen Brown has spoken.
To a former Patriots quarterback.
Jaylen Brown spoken at the ESPYs today. We'll do that next after the headlines here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
From the Town Fair Tire Studios, the only place to hear the local call of the game is right here. WBC-FM and HD Boston. Boston's home for sports. 98.5 The Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group station. Sports Hub headlines.
All right, Red Sox lead the A's 7-0 right now. We got some dongs, a triple dong night. Wilyer Abreu, Connor Wong, and Masataka Yoshida all going deep tonight in Hulkamania, running wild. Tanner Houck, 6 innings, 6 strikeouts, 103 pitches. Again, Sox lead 7-0, middle of the 8th inning. Kyle Lowry going back to the 76ers. Jamal Adams has signed with the Titans. And the state Senate approved an amendment that could be leading the way for a new soccer stadium in Everett, Massachusetts, home of my friend Bird. Headlines, they are brought to you by Safety Insurance, providing comprehensive coverage for your auto, home, and business. Ask your independent agent about safety. I'm Joe Murray. Your next update soon.
Us, Boston pride runs deep. I'm a Bostonian! This is Boston's home for sports.
Bow, bow, bow!
98.5 The Sports Hub.
How do you feel about the USA team right now, bro?
What you mean?
Why aren't you there? Do you feel away?
I don't really got no comment. You know what I mean?
Now, come on, home team. Come on, bro.
I got my beautiful day right there. So
he's trying to deflect, ladies and gentlemen, and she's a stepper.
Jalen's dressed outstanding as well. I mean, they're good-looking people right there. I'm telling you right now. Those two look very happy together. Very happy together. Remember last year? He hurt his hand. He was dating that girl that was on The Real Housewives. No? You don't remember that? Or am I just...
I remember the hand. I don't remember The Real Housewives.
Oh, yeah. Google that one.
I missed that one.
Google that one. He hurt his hands spraying flowers. Come on, Jaylen.
Rondo slipping in the shower or whatever it was.
Jaylen, you did not hurt your hand spraying flowers. There's lots of flowers and plants in my house. I'm not hurting my hand. I use a plastic bottle. All right? We spray a lot of plants in the Murray household, okay? I'm not hurting my hand. Right? That's it. Right? That's it. How do you hurt your hand? There's more to that. There is more to that. And you know what? He's been let off the hook. You know why? He a champion.
He is who we thought he was.
I mean, Skaz, if you want to crown him, you crown their ass.
If you want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were.
He was who we thought he was. Definitely wasn't a plant sprayer. That housewife did not work out in the end. Hey, Taylor Kyles, everybody, does a solid job over at CLNS. Patriots expert. He's going to join us next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe
We got to push away from the Jaylen Brown stuff. We just got to push away. I got the message today that I'm going to be down at Pat's camp on July 28th, which is a Sunday. So we'll be doing a live broadcast there that day. So I'll be down there and hopefully run into this fellow. His name is Taylor Kyles. He's from CLNS, Patriots beat writer. Taylor, you ready for camp, man? You all geared up, ready to go?
I'm all geared up. I'm more excited knowing I'll actually get to meet you in person finally. That's exciting.
That's going to be fun. I was told it's going to be the Sunday, the first Sunday of camp. So what should I be expecting when it comes to reps between Jacoby Brissett and Drake May? And I'll even throw Bailey Zappi in there and Joe Milton. What do you think we're going to see early on when it comes to reps for each quarterback?
Well, Jacoby's probably going to be getting the lion's share, and he will be starting. Alex Van Pelt, whenever he's kind of acknowledged how the QBs are kind of divvied up, or when he acknowledges Jacoby, he usually either directly says or makes it sound like he is the starter. So he's been that in minicamp and OTAs. That was pretty consistent. Really, the only change in that group was Drake May. Towards the end of OTAs, really established himself and actually kind of jumped Bailey Zappi, which wasn't the case early on because the veterans usually start. So Jacoby Brissett is the guy, but Drake May is going to be right behind him getting most of the 2 snaps. And then you'll see, Bailey Zappi and Joe Milton probably mixed in a little bit at the end.
Yeah, I saw the betting odds. They had week 1 starting QB for the Patriots. Pretty heavy favorite, Brissett, minus 265, and then coming in, obviously, is Drake May. But Drake May made an appearance or was on Hard Knocks. What were your thoughts on potentially the Patriots moving back to the 6th pick and picking up a first-round pick next year? I guess I'd ask you, would you rather the quarterback now who may sit or moving back a little bit and having that first-round pick the next year? Do you think the Patriots made the right choice?
Yeah, I was team taking quarterback pretty much all the way, and especially if it was Drake May. If I were making decisions, and it sounded like Elliott Wolf and company thought the same way, it didn't really sound like they were swayed by any of the other offers that they'd actually gotten. So, you can always play the game of, should they get Marvin Harrison and, somebody else? You're just getting more picks. But really, I think that is more of the Belichick way of thinking, where you accumulate picks because, you're casting a wider net. But this front office and Gerard Mayo as well and the coaching staff seemed to think that Drake May was their guy, and they wanted to say, you know what, we're going to get the quarterback. And I think that was wise because there's not a whole lot of wide receivers that are leading their team to, the playoffs and Super Bowl runs. There's a whole lot of quarterbacks that are doing more with less. So I'm glad they got a quarterback that's capable of being that kind of guy.
All right, Taylor, I'm down on the Patriots this year. I think the expectation should be that it's a rebuilding year. New coach. Obviously, they want to groom Drake May here, but I don't feel like the team has a lot of high-end talent. And I know Bill Barnwell had a playmaker rankings. What were your thoughts on where the Patriots landed on that list, and who do you think are at least the top 3 high-end talents on the Patriots at the moment?
Yeah, I saw it. I thought it was pretty fair, to be honest, because I think the people you're expecting to be real playmakers for this team, outside of Ramondre Stevenson and to a degree Antonio Gibson, are young players who are unproven. When you look at the receiving core, Hunter Henry, solid, great red zone guy, but you're not really going to get many explosive plays out of him. And I think with the receiver core outside of Demario Douglas, still a young guy, and then Kendrick Bourne, if he comes back healthy, you're really hoping that Jalen Pope, Javon Baker, and even Jaheim Bell, as kind of more of a role player, can give you some of that explosiveness. But again, you don't know that they're going to be able to do that. So I understand some of the, cautious, pessimism or optimism, whichever way, on the offensive side of the ball. But if we're talking premium talent, Drake May still an unknown, but it's really on the defensive side of the ball. You got Christian Barmore, who, he hasn't really been getting as much love as I think he deserves, but I do believe he was an honorable mention on ESPN Plus's rankings of all the executives and scouts and everything. And he, I think, is their best player on their entire roster. Behind him, I put Christian Gonzalez. You could argue we only know a month of what he looks like in the NFL, but this guy already seemed like a sure thing, like a potential Pro Bowl, All-Pro player, and he showed you that by going up against the best receivers in football and having a lot of success there. And if I had to go with a third, I'd give it to someone like a Kyle Duggar or Jabril Peppers, guys who are playmakers for you, big hitters, they bring physicality, but also they create turnovers. So if you want the star power, it's definitely on the defensive side of the ball, but I will also say don't sleep on Pop Douglas.
All right, we're talking to Taylor Kyles He's from CLNS. You just mentioned Pop Douglas. Man, I've heard so many things about him. I've seen you on 5 different podcasts, bro. You're with like James White. You're with my boy Mike Cadla. I see you everywhere at this point. But all I keep hearing about is Pop Douglas. What's he done? Has he gotten bigger, and can he stay healthy?
I think so. With the health, that's never a guarantee, especially as a slot receiver. I think the staff is going to have to be careful about how exactly they use him to minimize, some big hits over the middle from those linebackers and, those lurking safeties and everything. But, yeah, he looks like he's going to be the guy for them. He does, I think, look a little bit bigger. He still looks electric, though. He moves different than everybody else in the receiving core. And it's the physical tools that he has where he can be quick. He can be fast. He knows how to change up the tempo. But also the route running is exceptional. He knows how to make defenders uncomfortable. And, again, that's something that maybe only Javon Baker really gives you on a consistent basis from this receiving core. But, yeah, Demario Douglas, when you look at how he was even performing in the spring, he was one of the few guys who was consistently making plays, catching touchdowns, making passes where he's wide open or when he's still covered. So, again, I'm really excited to see what he can give you. He's not the big behemoth or anything like that, but I could see him being a high-volume target as long as he does stay healthy.
All right, man. Speaking of that receiver position, I'm not sold on some of the players that are there. Could the Patriots be in the mix for someone that could be available? I know you've been high on a big name. Could the Patriots be in a mix potentially in a trade with a guy like Brandon Ayuk maybe?
If this were my Madden franchise, Brandon Ayuk would have been here a long time ago. And then when CeeDee Lamb was on the trade blocker, when that kind of got whispered about, I was full steam ahead on that as well. But that's just really my headcanon, quite obviously. I think when it comes to the actual team, they said they want to draft and they want to develop. And we already saw them double-dip at wide receiver and get a new tight end. We saw them add Antonio Gibson. That's a receiving core. You're talking wide receivers. But, yeah, I really think they're going to look at KJ Osborne as one of their more stable guys in this offense. Kendrick Bourne, whenever he does come back, even if he's not explosive, he's still consistent and just solid. And that's where, again, I think that if you want to talk about moving the needle outside of Demario Douglas, if Javon Baker can be that guy who can win one-on-one matchups on the outside like he did in college, if Jalen Pope can be that, guy who works the middle of the field but also can give you a lot of deep production because he's so good as just a wide receiver, as a pass catcher, which we also saw in minicamp at times. I really do think it's going to give you more reason for optimism. But beyond that, it's really a solid unit where you know what you're going to get, but it's definitely not going to scare anybody of the way things sit now with the veterans outside of Pop.
I got one more for you, Taylor. Matthew Judon, bro. What's the deal? How far are they apart? Obviously, he's in the last year of his deal, but is he? I guess is it with the rebuilding that they're doing? Is he a better part of what they want to do, or should they try to trade him to get some assets for the future?
I think when you're talking about a playmaker and a guy who's a vocal leader, I don't think you ever want to let those guys go. But at the same time, we're talking about a guy who's going to be 32 when the season starts. It's an upper body injury, which is much better for an older player than a lower body, but still a season-ending injury, which you can't overlook. And then when you look at Anthony Jennings, I think he's a key piece here because he was an elite run stopper last season, and you would expect that he and Jelani Tavai are really going to be the outside linebackers on those potential run situations. I think Matthew Judon would be in the mix if he does end up playing this season. It is on the team and everything works out. But at the end of the day, he's, I think, going to be more of a rotational player than the kind of every down starter that he's been for the team since they signed him back in 2021. So I think there's every reason to keep him, but also business decisions have to be made. So if they do have to move on, between Uche, then you can even throw O'Shea Jimenez potentially into that mix. It's just a solid veteran with experience with Joe Wilkins. I could see it going both ways, really. Business is business, but I hope that they can find some way where, maybe give Judon some guaranteed money, a couple years that's front-loaded and make everybody happy, but we'll see.
All right, he's Taylor Kyles. Everybody go check out his work over at CLNS. I've seen you everywhere, bro. I saw you on NBC Sports Boston. You're made for television, man. I know you're on the radio right now. I think you got a little something in the future there on TV, bro.
You're too kind, man. I appreciate it. Just been getting very lucky in the down season.
You got it, man. Continue the great work. We'll catch up. Maybe I'll see you in a couple of weeks, man.
Can't wait, brother. Thank you again.
You got it. He's Taylor Kyles. Everybody check out his work over at CLNS. Does a great job covering the Patriots for them. So I am not high on the Patriots this year, but I have to work all the games. And I'm going to do a different approach this year when it comes to the New England Patriots. And I'm going to look at the positives every game. Because I'm going to tell you, Skaz, last year, it was very hard to be positive. No, I mean like at all. No, I found no positives. You know what positive I found? Bailey Zappi threw 3 interceptions in a first half of a Buffalo Bills game. Right? It was bad. But you know what he did? He scored 3 touchdowns in the second half. And I thought that was good. I thought that was showing perseverance, right? Battling back after being... I thought he was going to get benched for Mac Jones. How bad is that? But you know what? After the game, everyone wanted to tell me how bad Zappi sucks. But I was looking at the positives. So get ready for that this year. They might lose by 30, but you know what? Pop Douglas had 7 yards after catch. Right? Ramondre Stevenson caught 7 balls out of the backfield.
Joey Sly went 3 for 3.
That's right. That's right. They're going to keep 2 kickers. You watch. They're going to do something bogus.
Oh, you need that Chad Ryland card to pick up some value, Joe.
That's right. I have 2 Chad Ryland rookie cards. Hot take before we go to break. Linemen, coaches, and kickers out. There should never be cards for kickers, punters, coaches, and linemen. Who the hell wants a Cole Strange rookie card? Who wants a lineman, a coach? Who wants it?
You don't want a Bryce Behringer rookie card, Joe?
I'd rather his golf game than his damn punting game. How about that? I heard he's a good golfer. Maybe you guys can go golfing together. Maybe we can have the Bryce Behringer golf tournament. What do you think?
I'm in.
We know. Maybe we can hit up our guy from the Revs. Hey, man, I heard Bryce Behringer's good at golf. You think Hardy would steal that before us, though? I mean, we love the punters, don't we?
He's one of their better players last year.
No. Hardy's got the golf show. But you're a golfer. Who do you think golfs more, you or Hardy?
Probably Hardy.
Really?
Yeah, the last week, though. I played a lot in the last week.
You played so much golf, you're tan. You're
a golfer stand, Joe.
Yeah, you're showing it. I don't know. Have you ever golfed with Hardy?
I have not, no.
But you have golfed with other members of the Sports Hub.
I have golfed with, Kevin, Barth, McCarthy, Stenberg. Yeah.
And the best of them is Stenberg?
Stenberg's a really good player.
How's Howie?
Howie's good. Hits it straight. It doesn't matter. 1 knee, 2 knees, doesn't matter.
He golfs on a knee?
No, but he had knee surgery a little while ago.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Didn't slow down the golf game.
I miss our old friend Tucker.
I've been out on the golf course with Dan Lifshatz.
What does he wear?
Golf attire.
No, he wears golf. Really?
Yeah, you got to.
I have never seen Lifshatz in anything but flip-flop slides.
I think it was a Patriots polo, I think. But yeah, Lifshatz out there with the boys.
Huh. You've golfed with Lifshatz, huh?
Yeah, Jeff Williams been out there with Jeff.
I will say this. Dan is he's party shats.
We have a good time.
No, Dan's fun. See, some people don't think that. What do you think it is about that?
It's a tone issue.
Like they hear him on the radio, so they're like, "Is he happy?" But when when you go out with Lifshatz, he is the party. The party shats. By the way, I texted Kendra last night. She's in some other country. She doesn't like Urban Meyer. That's what I texted her about. All right, we'll go to a break. I'm Joe Murray. Let's get to the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines.
Whoa, the Red Sox game's already over. 7-0 they win. Tanner Houck, 6 innings, 6 strikeouts. And man, the Dongs were going tonight. Yoshida, Abreu, Wong, all going deep tonight. A shutout Red Sox now 51-41 on the season. And they'll take on the Kansas City Royals tomorrow in their final series before the All-Star break. 76ers have re-signed Kyle. shutout win and winning another series over at Fenway Park tonight. So now Boston is 51-41, while Oakland 35-60. They stink. Wilyer Abreu and Masataka Yoshida, they're starting to heat up. Big performance tonight. And they were very good in this series. Abreu kind of set the tone tonight, had his 8th home run of the season in the first inning, and it was a struggle for Oakland in that first inning. The Sox came out to a 3-0 lead. So they wanted to end this one early. He went 3 for 4, 2 RBI, and he was hitless through 4 games before this Oakland series and really heated up this week, broke that streak. As well, he was a triple short of the cycle for those that care at a single, double, and a homer. Masataka Yoshida is starting to heat up as well. He went 3 for 4 tonight, 4 RBI. Since coming back from that thumb injury, he got his 4th home run of the year in the 6th inning tonight. And he scored 2 runs in the previous game. The Red Sox, well, they did pretty well tonight. But Tanner Houck is the story. He shut down the Oakland A's. He struck out 6, had 103 pitches. He allowed just 2 hits and 3 walks through 6 innings. And with the win, he now has his 8th before the All-Star game, of course, was an All-Star this year. I mentioned that Abreu hit his 8th home run, and he's hit safely now in all 3 of his last at-bats. Connor Wong, his 8th home run of the year, 420 feet in the 3rd inning, was solid behind the plate tonight, 2 for 3 with a walk. I know Ceddanne Rafaela played pretty well in the field tonight at shortstop, and the Red Sox will continue now. They'll take on the Royals tomorrow night, but here they are, heating up and bouncing back, something nice to see. And, you know, I don't know if we can call Tanner Houck their ace. I don't know.
Houkamania.
Houkamania. I've came up with another one, but decided not to say it. But is he the ace of the staff, Skaz?
Yeah, he's got to be right now. I mean, we've talked about Albeo's been a disappointment this season. I think it's Tanner Houck's staff right now. He's an all-star. He deserves it. He's been basically flawless in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
It's Houkamania, Joe. How can he not be?
And it's running wild. You know, the only thing I didn't like about the Red Sox that I saw today, and I put it in our Slack, Kenley Jansen, who I have openly said that they could trade, and I'm fine with it. But then I've kind of bounced back and say I kind of like him because he just calls out everybody. Like, hey, you know, clearly this team needs a hitter in 2 pitchers. But then at the same time wants to say he wants to finish his career with the Dodgers. Bro, this guy's all over the place. So that's what I mean. If they sold Kenley Jansen, I would not be upset about it. So I like how Cora is saying, hey, let's be greedy, but now it's the window and then the door, and then you got players now talking about what they need, and they clearly need. Just didn't like the fact that he was like, I'll finish my career as a Dodger. What was that?
To be honest with you, if I have to speak for myself, yes. I want to see myself retiring in Dodger blue, but is it a reality? No. You know, I don't know, because I don't have control over that. And also, I don't know what they're thinking. And at the end of the day, it's a business, right? So I wanted to compete. And if teams out there wants to compete for championship, you know, that's what I want to do. I want to chase championship. And whoever wants me on their roster when I'm a free agent, you know, and give me the best deal for me and my family, you know, that's where I will go. But also too that, yes, you know, Dodgers will have that edge. But, you know, is it realistic it can happen also? Yes, but is it? Who knows? We don't know. So at the end of the day, you know, I look out what's best for me and my family also too.
Woof. Didn't like that. Whatever.
It's just odd timing.
Yeah, it's just weird. He just flat out called out ownership and says, hey, but you know what, though? Love to end my career with the Dodgers. Red Sox are 51-41. They own the baseball's best record since May 19th. Excuse me. Where was I May 19th? Was that Marathon? What was I doing? I felt like I was in Boston that night. Anyway, since May 19th, They're 29-17, best record. They're 8-2 in their last 10 and 18-7 in their last 25 games. They've lost only one of their last 12 series. Check this out. 7-1-4. Their last 12 series, and at the moment, they hold the American League's third wild card spot. They're 5.5 games out of first place in the American League East. We have a Red Sox season, everyone. One more series to go before the All-Star break. And I don't think anybody had the Red Sox being a playoff team at this point in the season. Coming home from the game, you want to talk about it, 617-779-0985. But on the other side, I have to muse about something in Murray's Musings next here on the Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub.
words of a grown man complaining.
It had something to do with that chair over there that I'll be sitting in tomorrow. As Skaz and I will be on with Mike Felger. And Big Jim will be here. Do you think how many hours over under do you think we'll do on Jaylen Brown? And I'm going to go 2 hours and 35 minutes. Over under.
I was going to set the line at 2.5, Joe. So I would take the over. Maybe we get some Jeremy Swayman news in the next 24 hours to help us out.
No, maybe we'll talk about like men's soccer or something. You know?
Yeah, the Open's next weekend. Maybe we can talk about that.
Didn't somebody turn them down today? Or what? The men's soccer. They just fired.
Jurgen Klopp was not interested.
Yeah,
sitting on a beach somewhere. No thanks.
Who do you think wants that job? Think Alexi Lawless wants that job?
I might move to another country if Alexi Lawless gets that job.
No Bruce Arena, huh?
No Bruce.
You won't get it?
No.
Anyway, maybe we should contact our old friend Ryan Bell and be like, hey man, who's the favorite to take over that coaching job?
The big name right now that's being considered is Hervé Renard, and it might be Ave Rene or something because he's French. But he seems to be one of the hot names right now. He manages the French women's team right now. Very handsome fella.
Well, anyways, back to my wallet. Know how I found out I didn't have my wallet today?
Went to pay for something?
Yep.
So I've done that where I've left it in the car. Like ran into the store, get to the counter, got to run back to my car. But I can't remember the last time I left it at home.
Went into the store, put a couple of Celsius on the table, and I go, I ain't owing you. Right? Because when you owe somebody something,
it lingers.
It always lingers. It stinks just like you mentioned in SpongeBob or Ren and Stimpy, right? Someone owes you money and you can just see the trail of stink around them. Like, oh, somebody owes you money, but like they just ordered takeout food. And it's like, how's that food over there? How much was that? You resent the hell out of them, right?
You pull the Ben Affleck in Good Will Hunting. I'll put this burger on layaway for you.
Yeah.
You give me 10 cents the next couple days and you'll get your burger.
I don't like owing anybody anything. I don't like it. But today I forgot my wallet, man. And I'm pissed. But you know what, though? I'm usually, because Kevin always makes a mention that I crack a Celsius in the final hour. I don't know how I do it, but I do it. And I got no Celsius.
Joe, I've seen your wallet, too. You got like a George Costanza wallet. I'm surprised you can leave that thing behind.
Yeah, I upgraded to a nice wallet.
It's full, though. It is a full wallet.
Oh, it's full. It's got everything I ever needed in there. Trust me, I can get anything out of that thing. No, Costanza.
Hey, nothing really bothered me, Joe. Pretty good week. Great week last week. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I think we're going to have some fun in the afternoon. We like the Joe Murray carousel tomorrow.
Is that what we're going to call it?
I don't know. That's what they call it.
I think they call it the cul-de-sac.
The cul-de-sac. My apologies.
Yeah, I just like to call it I'm right. Money to family, coworkers. Here's why. You're never getting that money back from the family. You give family money. Sometimes I don't want the pity Venmo. Is that weird? It's like, we go out to, I get you. I got you, bro. No, I'm going to Venmo you. No, I don't want your pity money. No, guys, I want lots of money, but I don't want the pity money,
All depends on what it's for.
I think anything $40 or more you pay back. Anything
I was going to say like 25.
Anything 25 or not, it's like a Yankee swap, right?
I'm working on a budget back here.
Yankee swaps are generally $25 or less, right? But except for Michael Scott, who's got to buy the nicest thing, right? Tomorrow night or any night next week at all. Or Monday or Tuesday. Get 2 more nights of this, and then it's August 1st. And the summer's over. Do you agree with Tom Morgan?
No.
That after the 4th of July, the summer is over?
Tom Morgan has a lot of bad takes, but yeah, that's right up there.
He does? He has a lot of bad takes? Is that true?
Just like giving Tom a hard time.
Okay.
He does it to everybody else.
I just was curious. Hey, he gives back. Use their card because they're afraid that the chip will, whatever. And I'm so out on you. Like, why? And you know what happens? You end up taking the hook for them, and they give you the cash. And you know what you're doing? You're blowing the cash. Especially when you're out with your friends.
Yeah, if I have cash on me, see you later.
If I bring cash out with me, I'm using it.
Yeah, that cash isn't making it home. Shot.
If I go to the casino with cash, trust me, I love cash. But that guy that goes out every single time and you're like, hey, let's buy a round each. And the guy works in cash. Now you're buying 2 rounds on your card, bro. It is July 11th.
7-Eleven day, Joe.
That's right. Get your Slurpees, everybody. Cella Ward, 68 years old today. Singer Suzanne Vega, 65. Richie Sambora Bon Jovi is 65. Lisa Rinna. Oh, love Lisa Rinna. She's my favorite housewife. Did you know that? Do you watch House? And our very own JP from North Providence would like to tell you he looks like Harry Hamlin.
80 years old.
90, dude. I wear Armani cologne. Did you know that?
I did not.
Well, now you do. Wrestling birthday today. You ready for this one? Natalie, she's a Heart Foundation.
I'm being told he's a member of the Broken Neck Club.
He has a broken neck.
That's tough. I thought that was an actual club when Kevin told me that. I didn't realize he actually hurt his neck.
Yes.
That's tough.
Stone Cold did too.
Big E, right?
Well, Big E broke his neck too.
That's brutal.
Edge, Corey Graves.
Yeah. No, thank you.
You know that there's a move called the neck breaker?
Out on that.
But it's not to break your neck. It's just Joey Bosa, 29 years old today. That's all I got.
How about Jeff Corwin, Joe? I don't know if you remember him. American TV naturalist. He was kind of like, I don't want to call him a knockoff Crocodile Dundee, Steve Irwin kind of guy.
Oh, he's like a Steve. Okay.
Jeff Corwin from Norwell, Mass., a Bridgewater State graduate.
Wow.
Local guy.
I want to know who called, Kevin. Who called? What happened there? Kevin has long conversations with the people who call in.
Apparently that caller just called in to congratulate you, Joe, on being number 1.
Oh, really?
Yes.
What did they say?
Apparently that's it. Just wanted to
Joe,
call
on
in.
Being number 1.
That's
well,
it.
Skaz, you're number 1 too.
Joe, I'm just happy to be a small part of it.
I'm just reading some of the tweets because we're in the chat so much. I don't really look at my Twitter, but Jeff checking in, who listens every night. Do you have a wallet or a fanny pack? Zippers. I have a Marc Jacobs wallet with a button, and then you open it up, and on the left is like all the goodies that I need. And then it opens up, there's cash in that side. And then there's this little like pocket. I put all my credit cards and BJ's card, and because the BJ's card, dude, I don't know if you use that thing. I get better gas for that, like way cheaper gas. And then somebody mentioned, hey, Joe, you forgot your wallet. Don't you have a card on your phone? I do. You're right. I do. Do you think they would have accepted that? How do you accept Apple? Like, how do you do? Do I scan my phone?
You have like a wallet inside, like an Apple wallet, and you can go right up to the scanner.
And you just beep.
I've used it a couple times. No issues.
What did that?
I have buddies that'll just leave the wallet at home, go out with the phone, got the cards on the phone. Just got.
And you know what sucks about The Fugitive and Richard Kimball? Which is a great movie, by the way. But she was yelling Richard because Richard was in the house trying to save her. Not Richard was trying to kill her. They really set him up good, huh? They signed over all sorts of stuff. And then they lied. They lied to him. What I still remember to this date, though, is when he was in that tunnel and then jumped off into the, what the hell was that? But he jumped into that big body of water, whatever. I can't remember what it was called now. That would never happen. Skaz, if you jumped off that thing, you'd be donezo, bro. But instead, Dr. Richard Kimball, he makes it out alive. He finds a truck stop. He puts on a truck uniform. He finds the near... Who goes to a hospital when you're a doctor that's a fugitive? Like, there's some holes in the movie I'd like to, But he got a nice breakfast, a nice drink of water, shaved, stole the ambulance, remember? Anyways, Brian is in the car. He wants to get in on the revs. Hey, Brian.
Hey, Joe. A couple of things here. By the Range wallet. But so as far as the new stadium for the Revs, which I really honestly could care less about, but do you think they pushed this along knowing that the Celtics were looking to sell and potentially new buyers could possibly be looking to get a stadium, so they kind of jumped on that area before the Celtics thing could have became a fruition? Or?
Brian, timing is everything, bro, and I agree. I like your conspiracy theory.
Thank you. I've been pondering that ever since I saw your tweet this afternoon. So, and also, I have your back on Twitter for all the people who are negative. I'm here for you, bud.
Yeah, my whole thing is some guy wanted to be like, oh, Joe's like, bad at comprehend. Like, yeah, dude. Like yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
hey, I'm not perfect, bro. I got all sorts of issues, but you know what? I think I do okay.
You work in the radio. I would not like to see a notepad. You probably have things scribbled all over the place.
Yeah.
But there's a dude literally just negative yesterday saying, saying some,
Here's the deal, Brian. Okay, the show's doing well at night, right? There's a new host after a year. And we went number one, so people they just want to hate you when you're on top. That's all it is.
That's exactly what I can be. Full disclosure. When Jim first started, I mixed you guys up on Twitter, and I started yelling at you, thinking you were Jim, being a Twitter tough guy. And you're like, I think you have the wrong Murray. So I think you've come a long way since then, and you know.
Well, I'm not sure if you heard, Brian.
Yourself, so.
I'm not sure if you heard, but I'm not shining shoes no more, bro.
Yeah, you're big.
Not shining
we're
shoes
on top.
no more.
We're on top.
Did you feel like I checked your ass?
You feel like you checked me?
No, do you feel like I checked your ass?
Checked my ass.
No, I meant about when you said you were yelling at the wrong guy, and then I said, "Hey, man, wrong guy." Did you? Feel
Oh no, I actually appreciated that.
Oh, okay.
And I think that's when I started paying more attention to you.
And you were like, "Oh, that's Joe Murray." Yeah. So to bring it up, he went by Big Jim before the Sports Hub.
Yeah.
I went by Joey Murr, but we both have the same last name, no relation.
Yes, and I mix you guys up.
Yes, and we're both going to be on the same show tomorrow with Felger and Skaz. Felger and Skaz, you hear that? Felger and Skaz, I like that.
I'm not trying to, badmouth anybody, but I also tweeted this to you, how I do like how you have your own show at the nighttime because you could kind of be yourself.
Yeah.
But, during the middle of the day, when you're on with Felger and Maz, I feel like you kind of like the step kid in the corner. You don't really get to talk that much, and when you do, you kind of get some water thrown on you. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
Put in the closet a little bit.
Yeah, that's what we call taking your bumps.
Yeah.
Keep
rocking it at night.
Thanks, man. Team player over here. They want me. No, that was you're trying to compliment me.
Hey, Brock Holt was an all-star. Don't you dare slander his name.
True story.
All
right.
Hey. I've been on here for 10 minutes. I appreciate you letting me go.
Yeah, that's what we do here. We let you go.
Hey.
Anytime,
you're the
Brian.
best.
Thank you. was a guy I never met in my life before that met me before on Twitter. And you know what? Let's just it's the last time. Last night, we're going to be on with Felger and Skaz tomorrow. Felger and Skaz. I like it. It's got a nice little ring to it. Felger and Skaz. Mac has a movie question. Hello, Mac.
Yeah, Joe. So listen, I was thinking about this because I watched this movie after Game 4. It was the blowout against the Mavericks. What's your stance on Celtic pride?
Well, I love when they kidnapped Deion Sanders. That's one of my favorites. The movie sucks, but I've watched it enough. It came out in 1996, so I was in 8th grade. But, I mean, overall, like, to get Dan Aykroyd and Damon Wayans and Daniel Stern in the movie, And you know what? Shooter McGavin was in it, too.
Really?
Yeah.
It's got to be Judd Apatow's worst movie, though, right?
It's probably his worst movie, no doubt.
Yeah, when I was watching it, it's definitely doesn't stand the test of time. Especially like there's like these weird like Nike commercial sequences that just look awful. Like I was literally like laughing out loud watching like the terrible like editing sequence they used.
Yeah, that's probably who funded the movie. Oh, Nike. Nike can fund Celtic pride, but has none when it comes to Jaylen Brown. Ooh. Ryan is on the Fugitive movie. Hi, Ryan.
Hey, Joe. How are you, bud?
Good, buddy.
One, I would think of more your El Guapo instead of Brock Hull. Deep flop.
Wow.
So your little plot holes that you see that I blindly ignore because I'll turn it on and watch it anytime it's on AMC for about 6 hours. You're not that far off because the actors thought the same thing about it.
No, I love The Fugitive. And you know what?
And
I watch U.S. Marshals, too.
Oh, no, I'm the same. But it's just funny that, like, the little, jumping off the side of a waterfall into a dam.
Or knowing about the elevated train. Oh, that sounds like an L. That sounds like an L.
Yeah, no, that's an L. Yeah, no, exactly. Those little things I turn a blind eye to. The actors, I think, picked up on as well. So.
And Jane Lynch. Jane Lynch is one of the doctors.
Well, was she truly a doctor? Maybe she was.
I don't know.
You're right.
I mean, that's true because Bill Nye was not a real scientist.
No, this is very fair. No matter how he feels about the ideal gas laws,
he was an actor who wanted to be a scientist.
Right, and he is just run on this platform of no, I'm a doctor, kind of.
Yeah, just like Wick Grossbeck isn't really an owner, is he?
Well, those who have the most money kind of.
I'm ball busted on that one. All right.
I know you are. Appreciate it, Joe.
Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate it. Anything else? Full phone lines open. They're open for anybody until 11 o'clock tonight. We'll take a quick break here on the Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray.
So again, back here on 98.5 The Sports Hub, Cam Newton interviewed Jaylen Brown. Hey, man, how you feeling about the dream? I got no comment on that. No comment. And then he called his girlfriend a stepper. And I know the song. Here comes the hot stepper. Da, da, da. I'm the lyrical gangster. Da, da, da. Da, 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 da. So that's what they called her, who's a WA. I'll tell you, the best dressed guy there tonight is Jaylen Brown. The girls go crazy for a sharp dressed man, and I'll tell you, he's looking good. Right? Kiss the ring season. That's where we're at right now with the Celtics, whether it's Jason Tatum. By the way, guys, can we play? We just had Cam Newton ask Jaylen Brown about the USA team, and earlier today, Jason Tatum was asked about. Was asked first if he talked to Jaylen Brown and if he misses him not being there. Let's hear that.
No.
Did you talk about having Jaylen here?
Yeah. I mean, there's so many guys that could, take that last spot or whatever. Yeah, it is.
I like that he didn't say no comment. I like how he said he hasn't talked to him, which I don't know if I believe. Because the other night, remember, they took a photo and he shared it about his new haircut. So I'm sure they've texted back and forth. As far as does he miss him, he said yeah. And I get it, right? I brought this up earlier in the show if you didn't listen. We all have to toe a company line. I'll admit, for the most part here at 98.5 in Beasley, we get a lot of autonomy at night. I will absolutely say that. Guys, I've worked at some stations before where it's like some guy wanted to tell me how to run the show, and I'm like, bro, no. So here, the one thing that in every show I've ever worked on at this station, we really don't. We have a lot of autonomy. We can talk about a lot of things. We know where we can go with some things and where we shouldn't go with some things. But for the most part, when it comes to Tatum in this situation here, he said no, he hasn't talked to him, and he said he does miss him. He's towing a company line. He's got a big deal with Nike. He wants to be a part of the U.S. basketball team. He's a leader. He just won a championship. He's a highly marketable guy. That's his guy. That's his boy. When Jaylen Brown won the MVP, he said, this is with Jason too. So I think he walked the line. I think he walked the line, but I don't know if he supported his boy, but he misses his boy. And there are people out there, we'll give it to you on the other side, who want to blame Jason Tatum for Team USA boycotting Jaylen Brown from not being a part of the team. Because it's not about basketball why Jaylen Brown is not on Team USA. So we'll get a final look at the headlines tonight. And who do you think's the guy that said something about it? It was Skip Bayless. And we'll let you hear his sound coming up next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines.
Red Sox win 7-0 tonight. They got 3 home runs in the game. And tomorrow, they'll begin a series with Kansas City and then head into the All-Star break.
Around here, we call them the Joe Murray Pre-Party. It's Felger and Maz afternoons right now. Joe Murray on the Sports Hub.
I mean, there are two other Celtics, right? Which brings me to Jason Tatum, who is a big Nike guy. He just came out with his new signature shoe. And he's going to be on the cover of the 2K.
Jordan, right? Brand Jordan.
He's Brand Jordan, yes.
Which is Nike.
All right. So you don't even have to respond to this because I don't want to put you in an awkward situation. This is just me from a distance. This smacks of, it smells like Jason Tatum and Jaylen just don't really get along.
No,
and you don't think so?
No, that's not it.
Jason Tatum, it feels like to me, is saying, hey, I just need a break. I don't want to have to live with him for a whole nother month so closely when we go to Paris. I just don't want to do this. And Grant Hill is saying, you know what? For our chemistry's sake, I don't want to do this. That's what it comes across to me, and I don't know any background. I'm just trying to read it from a distance.
I understand.
It's because Jason is such a big Nike guy, and Jaylen is saying, Nike, is this how we're playing this? Is this what we're doing? You're going to keep me out of this for Jason's sake? That's how it comes in, because I can't figure it out other than that.
I literally predicted this. I predicted that conversation. So technically, Skip Bayless, you're a ripoff. You're a ripoff. You stole my take. #1 rated show in Boston, and you stole it, and you know it.
Yeah, but Joe, I thought it wasn't your take. You were just,
It wasn't. Right?
Projecting that someone else would have the take.
I created the content of the take, and then Skip delivered it like the jerk he is.
You laid out the breadcrumbs, and he followed the trail.
Breadcrumbs. Yum, 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 yum. I did that one night, and some guy goes, stop doing that. I hate it. So I kept doing it more. But no, Skip Bayless is a poser. Right? He's a poser. Dude makes a living with terrible, made up, This is why we're going to be called green teamers tomorrow, guys. Get ready for it. Because Felger, who won't listen right now because he's on television, is going to say, oh, the narrative and the national media. But what he doesn't know is I said it the day before. I said it was going to happen. Predicted it. And what did he do? Now, Paul Pierce, you can stay out of this because, you're very close to it. But it just shows that they don't get along. What do you know, Skip Bayless? What do you know that they don't get along?
Don't you love that the one guy on the panel who knows both of the professional athletes, that has a close relationship with both of the professional athletes, was a professional athlete with inside that organization, is told, you don't have to comment on this one. We don't want to put you in a bad spot. Yeah. You know these guys. You might have actual insight.
You might really know.
So you know what? We don't want to hear from you.
And you know what's funny is Keyshawn goes, I know what you mean. Like, bro, you know nothing. But yet we're green teamers. We work in facts on this show, everybody.
Be like if me and Kevin were having a Hyde Park, rec league talk back here, and we're like, Joe, not interested.
Joe,
interested in your opinion.
No.
I'm going to talk about Route 1 restaurants. Joe,
yes,
Joe, not welcome.
Your opinion doesn't matter because this is what we think. You might know it and live there. That's a good one. Route 1 restaurants. Oh, he's the worst. He gets paid so much money, and I hate him. I resent him.
That's where it really comes from. It's the paycheck that bothers you.
Oh, my God. Like, what? I look good on TV. You'd look good on TV.
Maybe we'll find out tomorrow, Joe.
Throw me in a suit. I wear one on TV, too. I look good, damn it. I want to make that kind of money. I already curated the take for him. He should just hire me as his, take guy. I could come up with...
the take provider.
I almost said S-takes. I could come up with crap takes all day long. I could generate crap all day.
Skip takes me as a big 50-50 yes guy.
Wicked 50-50 yes.
Huge 50-50 yes guy.
He's 50-50 no.
Yeah, there, yes. 50-50 no.
If I'm 50-50 yes, he's 50-50 no. That guy flat out sucks. Like, whenever the Cowboys lose, I look to see what he does. Why?
Because it's working, Joe. This is what he wants.
Yeah, you're right.
He's damn good at it.
He's very good at it. I want money. I don't stir the pot like that. I start the pot.
You lay the ingredients out.
Adam really wants to talk about the Bruins. Sorry. JP's in North Providence. How you doing, JP?
Joe, Skip's got cold pizza, but Joe knows pizza. Tell Skip it's over. Okay? I'm an old guy. I don't even want to listen to him. First of all, congratulations. Number one at night. You and Skaz and the whole team. We love you, Joe. Joe, I'm going to take a break at work tomorrow just to try to get through to the show tomorrow. Who's running the board? Get me through. I'll get up a green teamer question. Skaz, you had Felder last week. You've got him again. Drop the mic twice on him. Go Eminem right at the end. Drop the mic, look at him, and walk off the set. Now, some important things, Joe. Borachito in the Seaport, hitting it up Saturday night. Some Mexican, some dancing. Have you been there? Any suggestions there?
No, but I got a suggestion for you. I
always take it, Joe.
I think you work nearby, so you know where
I moved.
Oh, you moved?
I was very close. I'm with a different clothing store. Anybody that needs a custom suit, let's just say I'm closer to Back Bay, and it's a big mall on the second floor. Can't say names, but thank you.
Okay, you can put it in the chat.
Could.
Do you know where the Envoy Hotel is?
Absolutely.
Go up to the rooftop. Thank me tomorrow.
Oh, I like that, Joe. Right up to look like a big shot with no money.
Yeah, but dude,
I carry cash on me because if that credit card doesn't go through, it looks awful bad. You're going to have it ready underneath the credit card just in case.
But
I need a bet, Joe. We're going to talk some sports. It's a sports show.
Okay.
I need to know, give me a prop bet on home run derby winner.
Pete Alonso.
Tanner Houck finishing top 3 in Cy Young.
Ooh, out on that one. Give me Pete Alonso. I don't even know who else is in it, but Pete Alonso is going to win.
Okay, I'm betting it, Joe.
Okay.
And can we get Skaz in the big seat next week? How many nights is he going to be in the big seat? Because I want him.
You know what?
Him and Silver. Get Silver in. I love Silver.
I love Silver, too.
Monday night, Sean Silver.
When I have pitched Skaz.
In.
Yes, in. I have pitched Skaz to come with me when we do remotes. Like, he could be the engineer with the mic. But, yeah, they need a guy back here that can hold it down.
All in. Get the Kowloon remote, Joe. All in. You'll get a following.
Listen, if we did a remote at the Kowloon, we'd fill the place out. We'd sell it out.
Outstanding, Joe. Hey, if I can't get through, enjoy the vacation, Joe. West Dennis?
You know it.
Burning up Route 28. Have a great time, Joe.
You got it, my man. Take care. That's JP, everybody. And somebody asked me to talk a little Bruins, so let's go. Adam and Lunenburg. It says Lunenburg, but it's Lunenburg. Yeah. Hello, Adam.
Joe, guys, thanks for taking my call. Really appreciate it. Listen, late night driving home through the farmland out here, and my good friend Paul Doobie turned me on to you late night. Doobie Wings.
The wing guy.
And giving him a shout-out. He'll be at the New Hampshire Wing Festival July 20th, guys. Make sure you check him out. But we're going to talk Bruins and predictions. I think it's a rebuild year, personally. We got to start from the bottom, work up here. I wanted to get your insight real quick at the top of the hours coming. What's your thought on the Bruins? What needs to be done, and what can we do to advance ourselves to get ourselves the championship and raise the beast right here? Another one for the Bruins. Thanks for taking my call.
Thanks, Adam. They need Dalzell or Merkulov to be 20 goal scorers. If they don't, they're going to have to either trade more assets or somebody from the team for a winger. I talked to Mick Colagio last night. He's not a biased guy. He thinks they've really upgraded. Like he thinks that like these two moves fill a lot of holes. He also mentioned DeBrusque really isn't a loss. I think they're going to lose his speed personally. They're a big team that's physical with really no speed. I watched the finals. If you guys got watch the Stanley Cup Finals, some fast guys out there. See the Dallas Stars. The team's fast. New Jersey's the team I'm thinking about next year.
If you want to improve your speed, Joe, got to draft fast guys.
Fast guys. What was funny is when we were talking to Taylor Kyles earlier. He had this thing about 40-yard dashes, and like all the receivers in the league, if you notice something about the receivers, they're all like 4.44. Like, and so he kind of wrote, "See all this speed," and I wanted to be like, "Hey man, so do you need fast guys?"
Got to draft fast guys.
Ayuk's one of them. I just don't feel like the 40. Brandon Ayuk's had probably a tough offseason.
He doesn't. It seems like he doesn't want to be there.
But in general, though, that's the best spot for him.
It feels like he's trying to make his way to Washington, which is, not something you would have seen. But I think he played at Arizona State with Jayden Daniels.
And N'Keal Harry.
So I think that's part of it.
Now, granted, Jayden Daniels was coming in because they had Manny Wilkins, who one time I talked trash about him on Twitter, and he wrote me back. Imagine that. I trashed a college quarterback for not covering a spread, and he came at me.
Good for him.
Manny Wilkins. What's he doing these days? Hang on a second. Manny Wilkins. QB. Okay, let's see. He is on the St. Louis Battlehawks of the United Football League. It's doing better than me, I guess. I bet you he makes way more money than we do. That sucks.
It's not a high bar for some of us.
I know, but we work every night on a big market, and that guy makes more money than us. That's sad. Oh, he signed with the Green Bay Packers.
Oh, there you go.
He ain't playing.
Joe versus Manny Wilkins.
What other quarterback could I go at and see if he'll chirp back at me?
Who was the Florida kid that was brutal to watch at times?
Not Trask. No. He played at Wisconsin, too.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Tim Tebow? No, I'm kidding. He was pretty good, huh? Tim Tebow?
Good in college.
By the way, I think and this is just Joe Murray's opinion. What do I know, right? What do I know? For my money, Tim Tebow was the best college player I've ever seen.
I put Cam Newton right up there.
Damn goal line play. You know what was so funny? It was my first year working Patriots postgame. And I thought the Pats were going to get smoked by Seattle. Cam Newton on the goal line, seconds remaining. What do they run? That stupid draw play. That like Michael and Wayne, I don't know who it was. They couldn't get over. Do you know what Cam Newton did on the goal line in the national championship game? Why are you not running with Cam Newton with the ball on the goal line? He's done it 1,000,000 times. Oh! This is what we're going to do at night. I need a vacation. If I'm going to be bringing up 2020 week 2, Cam Newton versus Seattle. I can't do it. Won't do it. Can't do it. Won't do it. Should we take this? Got to make it quick, Jake.
Hey, I'll be really quick. I called in with Graham Mertz, but as I was calling and you guys
Graham
got
Mertz. Thank you.
Harwich Port food wreck for you. I know you're around there. Have you been to Three Monkeys?
Have seen it, never been.
Oh, if you like Asian food, it's really good. Noodles and sushi, and then they have the best chicken gyoza you've ever had.
I'll check it out. Check out Banderas if you go to.
All right, we'll do. See you, Joe.
Wrap this up on the other side. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub.
tomorrow, everybody. So tune in. I assume we're going to talk about Jaylen Brown and Team USA and the ownership group. And we'll be called Green Teamers. And I bet you the word narrative will get mentioned. Anything else, guys, that you think will happen tomorrow?
I think we're going to do some Sox talk tomorrow, Joe.
Oh, Red Sox, huh? Are we going to bring up analytics or fight nerds? What are we going to do? Are we going to use the analytics as an argument, or are we just going to hate on nerds? I don't know. I don't know. Do you use it for your argument, or do you hate it? I don't know. What else is going? Oh, soccer talk, definitely. Woof. What else? I don't know. Gasper on tomorrow?
Friday, I would think so.
Okay. We'll talk to him too. So that's it. I am out, literally out. You won't hear from me until literally 7 shows